Is set to reconvene today at 10 in the forenoon, and already the minority now claiming to be majority.
We are majority.
We are majority. Okay, you've give a hint that you're still going to occupy the right-hand side of the speaker. Is that what is going to transpire here in Parliament?
We are looking up to our leaders. As we speak, we don't have any direction from our leaders. So whatever our leaders tell us, that's what we're going to do. If our leaders say that we should sit at the right side of the speaker, which is a correct sitting position for the majority party in Parliament, we will definitely follow our leaders' instruction. So that is what we're going to do.
Okay, so Speaker gave a direction that Parliament is supposed to sit at 10. It's almost 7:45. Why are you here that early?
Well, I'm the type who come to Parliament very early. In fact, if you ask every MP in Parliament or parliamentary staff, they will tell you that by 6 a.m., Honorable Abaji is in Parliament. So I use 2 hours to do my preparation in my office, and then I go to the chamber. If the House is not sitting at that time, I come back to my office. Now, we are sitting at the dome, which is a bit far from our offices.
And already the minority now claiming to be majority.
We are majority.
We are majority. Okay, you've give a hint that you're still going to occupy the right-hand side of the speaker. Is that what is going to transpire here in Parliament?
We are looking up to our leaders. As we speak, we don't have any direction from our leaders. So whatever our leaders tell us, that's what we're going to do. If our leaders say that we should sit at the right side of the speaker, which is a correct sitting position for the majority party in Parliament, we will definitely follow our leaders' instruction. So that is what we're going to do.
Okay, so Speaker gave a direction that Parliament is supposed to sit at 10. It's almost 7:45. Why are you here that early?
Well, I'm the type who come to Parliament very early. In fact, if you ask every MP in Parliament or parliamentary staff, they will tell you that by 6 a.m., Honorable Abaji is in Parliament. So I use 2 hours to do my preparation in my office. And then I go to the chamber. If the House is not sitting at that time, I come back to my office. Now we are sitting at the dome, which is a bit far from our offices. And then we have also been instructed that the chamber will only be open by 8 a.m. So I'm here so that when the chamber is open, I enter. Because I got to the office this morning at 6. I've sat in my office and prepared myself for the day. So that is why I'm here.
Yesterday, I'm sure you listened to the speaker during his press briefing. He made mention that Ghana is not in a constitutional crisis. Are you siding with him on that?
I side with my speaker. He's the speaker of the second arm of government. We have the executive, legislature, and the judiciary, and we are one of the three. And he's the leader and the head of this arm of government. A very experienced legislator. You know, he has been in Parliament for 28 years as an MP and now 4 years as a speaker. So has a lot of experience, very rich experience. So if he tells you that there is no constitutional crisis, I agree with him perfectly, because the Constitution is clear on what to do at what time. If you take any action, the Constitution says that your action will result into A or B position. And that is what he has said. So I agree with the Speaker that the House will still sit today. And if we have the numbers that we usually have to conduct business and take decision, why not? We'll go ahead and do it.
All right. Should we expect to see the minority express the same force as you did in the last sitting, where you were not ready to relinquish your sitting place to the NDC caucus?
If you say minority, what do you mean by that?
The NDC caucus.
Well, we are the majority, so we sit at the right side of the House.
You are not ready to relinquish that side to the...
Unless we are no more the majority. We are 136 now, and then the MPP is 135. Okay? So I know you also know that 136 is more than 135. So who is the majority in this case?
The Supreme Court ruling.
The MP.
Yeah, I am Honorable Benson Tongo Baba, popularly called BT Baba, MP for Talisi in the Upper East region.
Why are you here this early for the sitting?
Oh, normally I come very early. I live in Nsawam, and because of the traffic situation, I normally have to leave very early to be able to be in the chamber on time. So I've come very early, as usual. It's not any peculiar reasons. Yeah.
So what do you make of the Speaker's press briefing yesterday with the meeting?
Well, I think it was in order. It is appropriate, and for the whole world to know the stand of the Speaker, his jurisdiction, as per the Constitution and our standing orders, as well as in the separation of powers. There are 3 arms of government, and they are identified, and therefore the Supreme Court have their jurisdiction, and the Speaker also has his jurisdiction. The presidency or the executive also have theirs. So by the Constitution, the Speaker has the right to make certain pronouncements as per law established. So that another arm, before you can look at it, the Constitution also provides the process by which another arm can look at it. For instance, if we pass a law and the president is to assent to it, and the presidency feels that it has reservation about certain clauses or parts of the law, they refer... Leader.
Oh, I had you on there. Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's a fault of the
Ivan.
I'll be able to join the caucus and find out what is happening.
Is that to say your members are in the job 600 waiting?
I'm tempted to believe so. I'm tempted to believe so because this meeting is that I'll be held. So let's find out what is going on.
Thank you. Is that assurance? Thank you.
With our caucus, so I want to find out. I'm not sure. I don't want to speak outside the caucus and what they are doing. It will not be proper.
Okay. But yesterday, you guys called for a recall, and it's past 10, and you're still not here.
I can't be sure what is detaining us, so let me check.
In Parliament, they are supposed to bring government business for us to transact. Now, I reference this matter that Speaker, this group of MPs, they dilly-dallied from between June and early July. Businesses that were to have been considered, they dilly-dallied, they toyed with it until Speaker adjourned the House CNDA on 30th of July. On 31st of July, they filed for another recall, if you remember. When we came, they listed a lot. In fact, in that letter to Speaker, they practically embarrassed Speaker by using unprintable words. Speaker didn't budge. Speaker recalled the House. When we came here, the number of items that they listed as being of national interest, as being urgent, blah, blah, they came to have us approve a loan. And then that was the end. After 2 days, Speaker had to adjourn the House CNDA. Because they walked out on the second day. And so we couldn't attain quorum. A decisional quorum. We had a commencement quorum. So we adjourned CNDA. The next day, then they filed for this recall and listed a whole list of businesses as being of national interest, as being urgent, and therefore ought to be considered before today. Speaker again complied. How do you abuse exercise of executive power of state this way? Abuse of resources and abuse of opportunity. Because the people of this country, majority gave them the opportunity to be in government and to exercise executive power of state. This is how they abuse it.
Mighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and our good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality, inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honorable members, I extend a warm and hearty welcome to each and every one of you as we commence this extraordinary meeting of the 4th session of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic. This meeting is a response to a request for a recall first dated 22nd of October 2024 and a subsequent one dated 24th of October 2024, both pursuant to Article 1123 of the Constitution and Order 53 of the Standing Orders of Parliament. Both requests were signed by more than the constitutionally required signatories of 15% of all members of Parliament. The first request entreats the House to deliberate upon and transact urgent government business. And the businesses were tabulated. And from what we had, there were not many, just a few. The second request, dated 24th, simply added many more items for the consideration of the House. So from the initial request for us to consider 5 items, this second request added 17 more items. And this request came from the MPP members of Parliament, and it was signed on their behalf by the second Deputy Majority Whip, Honorable Alex Tete Jodubois. In fact, both requests were signed by him. Honorable members, I had, under the dictates of the provisions of the Constitution, to issue the summons for you to be here today. And I duly complied with the constitutional provision and got the administration to get the summons published to the notice of all of you. Unfortunately, the signatories who made the request have not shown up, and therefore matters that they wanted us to handle, which are admitted for the consideration of the Business Committee, are not on the order paper, and in fact there's no order paper for today because the Business Committee could not meet due to the absence of the people who requested for the recall. And as you can see, one side of the House is completely empty. In view of this, we have, as usual, got a quorum to sit, but we have no business before us to transact, because the Business Committee, as you know, they prepare a report, and this report is adopted by the House as business agreed by the House to transact during the course of the week. In the absence of that, there is no other authority that can put business before you which you have not adopted to transact. In view of the failure of the Business Committee to sit, as a result of the refusal of those who requested for the recall to show up, we are compelled to once again adjourn the sitting of the House. Knowing the challenges we are facing, it is not advisable to be adjourning from day to day. And so I'll proceed once more to adjourn the meeting indefinitely. And the meeting, this extraordinary meeting, is accordingly adjourned.
So who would be the speaker? Even the speaker made that. It is the they will not come.
For me, there is one important business Parliament must meet and consider. That would be budget in lieu of appropriation. So the Speaker and leadership have to get their acts together, and then we assure the Ghanaian working people, particularly public sector workers, that Parliament will pass something against appropriation, because there will be no government immediately in place. There will be a major transition that the country will go through. I'm optimistic that President Mahama will be sworn in as president before he will come in with his programs and policies, and then it costed for us to allocate resources for him to execute it. But I think what is happening now is for the Speaker and leadership to engage thoroughly and reach out and build a consensus. In the past, compromise was always held negatively. Now people will respect that.
All right, thank you. Suspended indefinitely. What you have to say to this?
Look, our colleagues on the minority side will have to stop wasting our time. I mean, you know the season we are in. I mean, this is a very, very busy period. Our constituents expect us to be with them, to engage with them, and to be campaigning and making sure that we are accounting for our stewardship. So these are really, really, really busy times. I mean, if they are not serious and committed to the work of Parliament, they should not be abusing the constitutional provisions. You recall Parliament, you trigger a recall, and then you don't show up. I mean, it is not right. It is not fair. If you have no business to conduct, then do not waste everybody's time. I think that moving forward, the Speaker of Parliament will have to put his foot down and be firm. The way I see things, the only critical business really for Parliament before the 8th Parliament comes to an end is the appropriation, the budget for next year. And you know that in election years, the first 3 months, Parliament will have to consider the appropriation bill so that the new government will then present its budget for the rest of the year. To be honest, that's the only matter that I consider urgent and serious and worthy of, a recall of Parliament. All the other matters really are just needless waste of time, flexing of muscles. Look, we should not be where we are. If our colleagues had just respected Speaker Bagbin's ruling, which is very consistent with previous speakers. We didn't see this conduct when Professor Okwe delivered the same ruling. We didn't see this conduct with previous speakers. Article 97 has always been automatic. Once you change the party that brings you to Parliament, whether you are in a political party or an independent member of Parliament and vice versa, you lose your seat. That has always been the precedent, that has always been the convention. And you can still carry out government business even if you are in the minority. We are rational. If, for example, our colleagues on the minority side bring a matter that relates to the concerns of our people, that are matters in the national interest, we will rally behind them. It doesn't matter that they are in the minority. For example, the repeal of LI 2462 to ruthlessly deal with galamsey and stop mining in the forests and in our water bodies. We will support that. If they bring a bill, for example, to repeal the e-levy, the emissions tax, the betting tax, things like that, that have national appeal, we will support it. So it will therefore not matter whether you are bringing it from the minority side or the majority side. And I think that it is time that we put the interests of this country first. Let us show maturity. Let us put Ghana first in our dealings and stop these childish games. I mean, it's getting too infantile, and our colleagues should stop wasting everybody's time.
Your colleague from the MPP side, Honorable Katie Amon, says he's going to sue Speaker for contempt. What do you have to say to this?
What has the Speaker done? I mean, we all know that they continue to abuse the courts. The courts, they are treating the courts as if it's become an MPP headquarters annex. So it's up to them, whatever they want to do. But we are not going to be distracted. We are going to stay focused. We are going to continue to engage with our constituents.
I'll be able to join the caucus and find out what is happening.
Is that to say your members are in the job 600 waiting? I'm
tempted to believe so. I'm tempted to believe so because this meeting is at our behest. So let's find out what is going on.
Thank you. Is that assurance? Thank you.
I'll be able to join the caucus and find out what is happening.
Is that to say your members are in the job 600 waiting?
I'm tempted to believe so. I'm tempted to believe so because this meeting is at our behest. So let's find out what is going on.
Thank you. Is that assurance? Thank you.
If you watch CNN carefully, you will know that CNN leans towards the Democrats and Fox leans towards the Republicans. But as soon as Trump was elected, CNN put all their biases aside and went straight. In fact, they were among the first news, let me finish, to have projected Trump's victory in spite of all their disagreement with Trump's views or political views. You get my point? And I would want to urge on you, the media, to do same. You may not be in support of MPP. I agree. Yenina ya dream to me ya baako. Yenina media yen to me ka say media bi antro dia eye MPP for there. But se court kasa. Me pe situation a media betro say eye Afenyo Markin leader of MPP group. Afenyo Markin ni MPP for eye majority. And that is the law. Mumbua speaker of Fuma Monka. Yes, we are Fuma Monka. Na Ghana baku pena ewo. Their NDC for ni ya no person Ghana ejetomo. Their speaker di kan ye no. Speaker, their speaker di kan ye no. Ye yan kunto kwa o. Oka di oka ye no. Ye ndidi na tem. Ye ka chen say speaker. Wo de waka. Ye di court. Na court ebia asem no. Court edi kan ebia asem no. Speaker si on ti ase of a lawyer. Emma lawyer no call court. Eko kasama onu speaker said there be their Supreme Court ka no wafo Supreme Court afom. Supreme Court ebu di asem no. Ghana nyina hwe TV. Ena Supreme Court aka said there be speaker. Enye wu tumi na obetumi aka say obi seat we declare vacant. Eyenyen inti asem no eda yenim. Asem no so beda ha na wo ya we. Inti eba ne say ena say wo be kasasa. Speaker lawyer nankasa ka say speaker ye ruling. Okoso justify speaker asem okan. Ema ne ka say Supreme Court kro na ye wo no. Enye wo ne the right forum je say ye kwa high court. Sansema ne lawyer kan ni nyina court den eboguye. Inti dia na ye expect an opay ni say speaker any NDC for no beka saka chom say there be baby amote na ye ho na mote. E ho no ye
Hey, and yes, our question. That's it.
Of course, I'm still a member of Parliament, the ticket of MPP. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. With that.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I think my leader has spoken, and I don't need to. Mine is not a press conference. What I want to tell the media, the message you have to carry, is in the interest of our country, Ghana. I believe in Ghana. With what is going on in Parliament, it's not good for the country. I have advised my colleagues from the other side that look, assuming you win the incoming election, would you get 2/3 of Parliament to take decisions? And they all said no. So I said, well, if you are saying that Professor Michael Quinn set a precedence and you are using that to take a position as you have done, then what happens if you win election and you don't get 2/3? Do you expect MPP also to help for us to rule this country? That is my fear for Ghana. Whatever is going on, if we don't put an end to it and we politicize issues, Ghana, I'm telling you, in 2025, you will see worse things in Parliament. Because whoever wins and whoever loses will not cooperate. Then what will be the fate of our country? That is my major concern. Of late, I've not been speaking, but it's absurd to see grown-ups, members of Parliament, behaving the way we are behaving. It's simple. For peace sake, how many weeks left for the country to go through all what is going through? Don't think it's only MPP. It's Ghana going through these challenges. The way things are going, I believe that next month is going to be Christmas, and workers are not even going to have their salary because Parliament we have to approve. So media, I decided not to talk, but what I saw at the conference center when I was coming, I'm entreating you, I'm pleading with you, to be very objective. You see, taking entrenched position to support a political party will not help this country. And if you know the power of the media, if you do your work well, the respect you earn, I'm begging you, you are jeopardizing your positions in society because of the way some of you politicize issues, and it won't help this country. We all want to move forward. I personally don't care whoever wins, so long as we have a peaceful country that you can breed. I've been to war-torn countries and I know the sufferings some people are going through. That is why I don't preach for war. If not, I would have also encouraged whatever going on. I want to be the faith of the country. Today I shouted at my young man because he asked me a question, why are you running away? You know, how can I run away? Let me tell you what actually happened this morning, which the leader did not address. He saw me in going to I even entered the chamber. We were at a caucus meeting. So we took a decision that, look, Ken, go with the leadership, engage the speaker and the NDC people, then we go in, because we heard they are sitting on our side, which is the right-hand side of the speaker. So go and engage the speaker. Unfortunately, when we got there, they were sitting. That is why we returned, not that I was running away. And we couldn't stop the proceedings. So it's not deliberate that MPP refused. We needed to engage the speaker. I'm not the leadership. I'm not one of them. But they respect my opinion. And I know speaker is my friend. Before I even came to Parliament, he was my company lawyer. So I give him that respect. And sometimes I go to him and share ideas. So they say this time, go to your man. Unfortunately, our caucus meeting took so long, and there was no TV there for us to see that they were sitting. So, young man, I was not running away. We were coming to consult the speaker and the minority group before we go in there. And unfortunately, when we went there, he was sitting. And we had to walk away. Now, the question is, where NDC was sitting, where did you want me to go and sit? Exactly. Where? Or if you go and fight them. Do you want me to go and pull my chair from my colleague from the other side? No. We don't want that January 7th, 2021, what transpired at the chamber to continue, to be a precedent. No. So, peacefully, I just worked out with Deputy Majority Leader and the two whips.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country, wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi, inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Friday, the 8th day of November 2024. By His grace, we're alive and we're here with yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude will go to Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making the rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly. But let's take a look at the front pages of the newspapers, Daily Graphic. Parliament adjourns again. Government business still hangs. Demonstrate true statesmanship. Afenyo Markin tells Speaker. My credit score unveiled as third credit reference bureau. Constituency watch. Can NPP take over KEA seat? NDC sure of victory. The Ghanaian Times. Impasse in Parliament. Speaker adjourns House indefinitely again. EC presents final certified copies of voters registered to political parties and independent candidates. Backbone supervising lawlessness in Parliament. NPP majority alleges 40th National Farmers' Day to be held today. Daily Guide. Vacant seat saga. Speaker. NDC on war path. Afenyo Markin. Bawumia unveils my credit score system. Parliamentary standoff will affect public servants' salaries. Dame hostess KB Asante on international arbitration. 2 die in Konongo accident. New Weekend Crusading Guide. Charles Bisui lied to court. He deceived the court that the OSP had procured an arrest warrant to harass him. It was a figment of his imagination. That's according to the court. Scramble for Tano Adenta land. US-based lawyer in trouble. NDC on warpath. Speaker Bagbin is supervising chaos in Parliament. Afenyo Markin. Noise over statistics of voters register. Providing voters register list breakdown not required by law. EC. Reducing housing costs. Bawumia unveils my credit score. Alhaji Boniface leads Alliance onslaught in Northeast. Salt harvest season. Electrochem to employ 3,200 local workers in Ada. The Insight. Uproar in Ghana. How BBC captured the Akufo-Addo's embarrassing act after President unveils his own statue. Alan hailed in Wale Wale. Received massive endorsement for his competence, humility and kindness. Don't be silent on happenings in Boku. Speak out if your hands are clean. Professor John Azuma. NDC laces up boots for election 2024 with launch of NDC Insight. Investigate Chieftaincy Minister over conduct in La Traditional Council case. Aggrieved members of Mati, Abonase, Abese and Leshi divisions demand. 52 countries led by Turkey urge UN to call for arms embargo on Israel. The Informer. Bawumia targets Ghanaian youth with digital skills, fights corruption with digitalization. Will press contempt charges against Bagbin. Katie Amon reveals. Humbled, Bagbin ready to promote government business, extending free SHS to cover private schools. EduWatch deflates NDC policy, argues abolishing double track detrimental. Majority Leader blasts Speaker for instigating confusion in Parliament. The Inquisitor. Dismissal of case against Deputy IGP. Police personnel jubilate. Napo is a genuine promise keeper, Yana. While we boycotted Parliament for the second time, Afenyo Markin explains. Speaker suspends Parliament indefinitely again. NDC raises concerns over EC's final voters register statistics. The Herald. Akufo-Addo hijacks 86-year-old Efiam Kwanta Regional Hospital as his legacy. NDC and NPP trade blame outside Parliament as Speaker adjourns for absenteeism. Bawumia adores credit scoring system for easy access to cash. Sakawa lover. Haja for Real Lands UK policeman and others in trouble. Mahama tells Sal to punish NPP for denying them Parliament. Bashes judiciary over its injustice. The Daily Statesman. Stop supervising NDC chaos. Majority leader takes Speaker to task. Bawumia launches my credit score for Ghana. President assures Western region more development under Bawumia. DUA Lord Trump projects NPP win in Ghana. The Daily Searchlight. You are destroying lives of farmers whilst you celebrate Farmers' Day. Group. NPP 6 recall of Parliament and dodges chamber. Rousing reception for Alanchir Martin in the northern region. UPSA graduates 5,274 students. Names new lecture hall after Dr. Yaose Duchum. Election 2024. Paga youth to stay off for fear of violence. The Ghanaian Publisher. Bagbin leading NDC on warpath. Majority leader. 18,772,289 eligible to vote. EC. Bawumia unveils my credit score platform. ADB MD Lords climate resilient agric initiatives in Ghana. AUCC honors 4 proud GJ laureates, alumni. The Custodian. Bagbin is setting Ghana on fire. Majority leader. DUA salutes Trump. Projects NPP's win. Buying goods on credit. Bawumia launches my credit score platform. Boss clears 384 million cedis legacy debt. Daily Post. Lecturers in Ashanti region throw support behind John Mahama. Franklin Kujo gives Bawumia the Badge of Economic Dishonor Award. Speaker adjourns Parliament indefinitely again as NPP MPs fail to show up. Residents of Sekondi Takoradi call for removal of life-size statue of Akufo-Addo from current location. The Catholic Standard. Promote peaceful conduct in elections. Bishop Nkwa Boatin. Nuncio presents credentials. Be role models in the church and society. Nuncio. Make God the lens of love and unity. Bishop Kumoji. Pope Francis sends goodwill message as Yendi Diocese marks 25 years. Editorial. Building a more synodal church in Ghana. That's about it for the front pages. We're back shortly.
Yo, guy, can you believe Momo is 15 years in Ghana?
Really?
Yes, it's been 15 years of Fatumi Fong Somame.
Wow.
15 years of Shami Momo.
15 years of Loyazo.
15 years of I've paid the school fees.
Charlie, breaking news! Win awesome prizes in the Momo at 15 rewards promo! Guy!
Just download the new My Momo app, transfer and make payment, and you could be one of the 15 people to win 15,000 cedis each, and one of the 150 people to win 1,500 cedis each. Hurry Ghana, download the new My Momo app and start getting rewarded today.
Yo, you download them.
Download. I stop Vincent.
It is the Momo at 15 celebrations with MTN Momo. Pay faster, pay safer, pay easier, and just Momo it.
Look around. Home also need a makeover. Mine clearly does. So we went to Ashroom and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Merchant furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection?
dressing up is just a breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. One look and you're ready to face the world. Or at least the kids.
A bed perfect for young men who want
a table that turns into a treasure chest.
And finally, a sofa with this grand TV unit for family time at home.
Head over to any Ashphone store now and discover the new Como collection. Ashphone, feel it, know it.
Welcome. Please look into the camera for verification. Thank you, John. You are now verified. Please select your preferred candidate. New candidate. Profile being verified. Please choose another. New candidate. Profile not ready. Please choose another. To see development options for this candidate, press yes or cancel. Will cancel free SHS. Will cancel LEAP. Will cancel health insurance. Will bring back Doomsaw. Should I continue? Press yes or cancel. Please choose another. Development options. Will improve free SHS. Free healthcare. Flat rate scheme for importers. Jobs for the youth. Affordable public transport with electric buses. Generally, a great choice. The only choice really. Thank you for voting number 1.
Esuro. Vote number 1 on the ballot.
To all our believers.
To the Niger Gunners of Globe Road.
All you Artetas of Africa. Of Accra.
Of Maputo.
Of Oimbo.
The legends of legends down Lusaka way. We hear you.
Now hear us.
Obrigado.
Galo.
Betway, the official global betting partner of Arsenal.
Customer, I don't know who to say.
Malaria been actually me, man. No more man. Still.
One of them give us.
Give us a solid.
Yeah. Sorry. What rest of so give us here and turn down.
But so good as so. But for me to give us the and turn down.
Give us about me, sir.
Me patron and turn down.
Customer. Give us a turn down.
Onuya kayo oba wa fa furo nom de o ma no bonu fu nom akwada woni mfie dumie no ono nso nom
John mema wakwaba
ya se o
Alhaji mema wakwaba
yeja
John aha de bre wo na anam
we de amaga 19 na menamo wan se mreka kran mi jara ho to no antina ma saba
Alhaji aha de bre wo
yo me da se mo amonim tamana ama wa ho chire mo miana na meboaboa na kakra na se se de ma yakra do se me pese me be ware no na me ko siesie no na me mane san gina ne na aso biom no yakra behwe
yo abusuafo yesempa yo amagana wasumo
mentumi ensan nchi sho bread baby a wo de me famwe amane hu yabe mentumi biom forward ever backwards never
John wo okwan a wo de me bai fa so ahokyere ekom dum so hwa me nana no mi ya free SHS ya ba ya kom anya school anko ene hwe ya o ma ye fe
ase o ma se sambe hwe obo sa ahomache tu okro kokra meko bank na makwa ko yiska e de abra magana na maboni dwetire ama na starting kokon ketenkete
Akunta, you are still incompetent.
2% side mama abrabo eto chacha to say aviator there be emaso
Alhaji has also promised us jobs through digitalization. Ejima be busu say
Alhaji there metene so a ne ma sɔre emiri bia meka ne abɛsa no otimi tɔ kanea light e woni phone so e ma me ba bia wonam bia yo amagana enya me ne me ware ama ho alaji ni John so ni wa chusu
no ababa say eye alaji number 1 alaji number 1
Esuro.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luckiest everywhere.
8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get a packing from your man. Hey, wait.
You go put it on his tab. This is my man.
Good luck. We'll wait here. We are star 712. It's a phone. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one. Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let's choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now, you need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random ticket. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5. Baby, give me your 5 numbers. And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
there, tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. T&Cs apply.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia number 1 on the ballot.
In a fast-growing urban environment like Accra, safety should not be too far-reaching. It should be as easy as ABC. Hear the real stories from those who now feel safe like never before with Response 1.
We were held at gunpoint in our own home, and they got away with it.
We didn't have Response 1 back then. That was the most terrifying experience of our lives.
But after that, we subscribed to Response 1 to ensure that never happens again. The last time the hoodlums tried, we had installed Response 1 monitored alarm system. Their response team arrived, followed by the police, to ensure we're safe.
Don't wait for tragedy to strike. Protect your home with Response 1's monitored alarm system and our theft protection guarantee. Immediate response, real protection. Response 1, stay connected, stay protected.
Dr. Baumia once said,
teachers are suffering. Teacher trainees are suffering. Nurses are suffering. And nursing trainees are suffering. Patients are suffering. Students are suffering. Traders are suffering. Pensioners are suffering. Drivers are suffering. Contractors are suffering. Civil servants are suffering. And farmers are suffering. Fishermen are suffering. And industries are suffering. Artisans are suffering and Kayaye are suffering. The disabled are suffering and men are suffering. Women are suffering and children and Ghanaians as a whole are suffering.
Vote John Dramani Mahama for president. Trustworthy, honest and reliable. Vote for change. Choose the umbrella. Vote John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana Live on Metro TV. And with me on the show this morning, I have the Vice Chair of Baumia 2024, Nana Akomia. Nana, good morning.
Good morning, Randy.
Also with me on the show this morning is the Honourable Member of Parliament for the Northern constituency. And he is also the chairman of the Assurances Committee in Parliament. Samuel Okujato Ablakwa is here with me. Son of man, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Doc.
All right.
Good morning, Nana.
Good morning, Sammy.
It's been an awesome journey with Momo from MTN, 15 years of ease, safety, and convenience. This is definitely worth celebrating. That's why the Momo at 15 Rewards is here with amazing cash prizes to say thank you. Send money to an MTN Momo user or make payments to an MTN Momo merchant at no cost whatsoever, only on MTN. So go on, download my Momo on the App Store or Play Store to enjoy this. Just Momo it everywhere you go. Terms and conditions apply. And if you're thinking of getting that toothpaste that will take care of the entire family and save you some money, the recommended family toothpaste is Kel 360 toothpaste. This is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Kel 360 toothpaste provides you and your family with all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. Kel 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be a proud family when they step out by constantly using Kel 360 toothpaste. It brightens your teeth, prevents cavity, and with its cool mint gives you fresh breath throughout the day and protects the gum from decaying. For consistency and quality, use Kel 360 toothpaste. It's another product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso. It's available in all supermarkets, malls, and provision shops. You can call Samara Company on 0246 864 798. Kel 360 toothpaste. Happy smile. Sorry? Parliament is all over the news. In fact, Parliament has been in the news, has been number one as far as the news is concerned for the last 1 month or so. In fact, Parliament has eclipsed the American elections for the front pages. The Speaker has adjourned Parliament sine die again. And then we have a trading of accusations by both sides of the House. What is happening?
Well, good morning, Doc, and good morning, Anna. Good morning to all our viewers. Let me begin by wishing all our farmers happy Farmers' Day. Our farmers and our fishers continue to work very hard to keep us fed, and we have to celebrate and salute them. Agriculture remains the biggest contributor to employment in Ghana. More than 60% of our workforce are in the agriculture sector, and as a member of Parliament from an agricultural constituency, more than 80% of my constituents are in either agriculture or that is farming on the land or fishing on the Volta River. So we celebrate our farmers today, and this allows me to highlight one of our major interventions we are working on in the North Town constituency. We have a new ethanol factory coming up, and we have secured large tracts of land for a youth in cassava farming intervention, which is going to be feeding this ethanol factory, which will be operationalized in a month's time. They are almost done. They're about 95% complete when I toured the facility last week. So these are good times for farming in my constituency. We also have a sugar processing factory coming up. Indian investors who are also laying the foundations for sugar processing. Ghana does not have a single sugar processing factory, and we are determined to have the first one in North Town, seeing that the Commander Sugar Factory has remained a protracted disaster. It's not clear when that will be operationalized. I had thought that after what President Mahama did, the new government would just have done a backward integration and operationalize the factory, but clearly there are no concrete plans. But I'm confident that we in North Town will bypass and take over and virtually rescue the country I've seen what the Indian investors are doing, and I'm really impressed when I toured that facility a few days ago. So there's a lot of
digress,
yeah.
But I just remembered that I saw something yesterday or 2 days about your constituency and something about the disaster, the flood.
Yes.
There's some activity which is supposed to happen. I saw something. Is that at the MEPE Association? I read something about some commemoration. They're going to do. Maybe I'll check it out.
Okay.
Yes,
you check it. Yeah. So there's a lot going on in my constituency in the agricultural space. But since I'm talking about my constituency, let me just quickly bring in other things I have been doing in the constituency over the last few days. I have held meetings with the staff of Japan Textiles, and I want to use this opportunity to remind the trade minister of his obligations. They have disconnected electricity from Japan Textiles, and over the last several months, the workers have been at home. Because they owe ECG. They wanted a bailout similar to what we did in 2016 when we were in power. There's a need for retooling of Japan Textiles. It used to be the biggest textile manufacturing company in the whole of West Africa, employing over 3,000 people. Their fortunes have dwindled. At the time it was closed several months ago, there were just about 570 staff. So a pale shadow of what it used to be. And to think that such a factory, which has enormous potential, will be allowed to be closed down, it's totally unacceptable. I saw the Trade Minister, the Honorable Katie Hammond, use a lot of energy in Parliament yesterday on what I do not think was glorifying and was dignifying. I would respectfully plead with him to rechannel those energies into reviving Japan Textiles. He has not visited the factory since the closure. The workers are really struggling. When I met them,
it's focused on cement. When it finishes,
no, I mean you have to. I mean it's 100% government owned, and the Trade Ministry has direct responsibility. And this is a country that is importing fabric, and I've never understood why all our uniformed institutions in education, in the police, in the armed forces, immigration, fire service, why we cannot, make sure that these textile factories, Japan, Akosombo, and others, provide the needed materials for sewing these uniforms so that there will be ready market for Japan Textiles. So it is totally unacceptable that Japan Textiles has been closed down, particularly under a regime that was claiming that they were coming for industrialization and to revamp industries. We have not. It's been more talk than action. Aveima Rice has also collapsed under their watch, which is also in my constituency. So you wonder what is going on with all of this huffing and puffing about industrialization. We need to revive Japan Textiles. When I met with the workers, I assured them that I'll continue with my efforts. Not too long ago, I'd led a team there, the British High Commissioner and some investors, to look at the facility. And I hope that there will be investor interest, and the positive feedback we are receiving from those investors who toured the facility will concretize soon into reviving Japan Textiles. I did support the staff with some modest cash grants so that at least they could keep body and soul together. But Japan Textiles will have to be revived. ECG should reconnect the electricity. I mean, how do you expect them to pay if they are not producing. You know, you can agree on some payment plan, but to be so draconian and to just disconnect the electricity like that, and livelihoods have been destroyed. You know, people are just, you know, languishing at home with no work. How do they take care of their children, their dependents? Really, really awful. And I hope that the trade minister and the government will wake up to their responsibilities, because Japan Textiles is owned by the government. Let me also conclude by thanking all our partners in the constituency who have helped us to successfully implement a number of interventions in recent days. All the BEC candidates who were to report to school last week for their prospectus and to get ready for senior high school, we were able to meet them and encourage them, and we supported them with their prospectus items, chop boxes, mattresses, provisions, and what have you. It was a really good program last Friday, and we got them ready for school. I like to do these interventions. Education has been my #1 priority in the constituency. So right from building new schools, replacing all the blackboards with white marker boards, making sure that there are vehicles, motorbikes for the teachers, the education directorate, and building the girls' dormitory at DOSEC, and many of the other things that we have done in the education sector. And we've seen that the education results are improving since I've been MP. So it was a very, very good program that we did last Friday. And then for the artisans, I want to thank Professor Nana Jinopoku-Ajiman, who was with us and was our special guest of honor on Tuesday when we presented sewing machines, industrial sewing machines, manual sewing machines. We presented hair dryers. And then the final year students, for their project work, we provided laptop computers for them. So it's been a beehive of activity. A lot has been going on in the constituency. We continue to render service to make sure that the people are well represented and well catered for. So that's by way of what I've been up to in the constituency. But now, from constituency responsibilities, I come to chamber obligations, as you want us to now discuss. To be very, very honest with you, Dr. Randy Abe, the Parliament of Ghana is not covering itself in glory. Why should the MPP side trigger a parliamentary recall, which under the Constitution, the Speaker has 7 days to oblige them, which he did? And you know the season that we are in. I mean, you have seen what I've been recounting, what I've been doing in the constituency. Colleagues are also busy carrying out so many interventions, campaigning, accounting for their stewardship over the 4-year period. Some of our colleagues in the Upper East region were narrating to me how, because of the Boku conflict, it was really tough for them to navigate. You know, some of them had to even go through Togo and all of that. Because of this recall, everybody had to suspend their campaigns, put everything aside, and respond to the summons, only for us to show up. And then our colleagues on the MPP side, the MPP minority, refused to show up. Wasted everybody's time. After 11 a.m., the Speaker had to take his chair and said that to the extent that those who have triggered the recall did not show up for the business committee meetings. And we cannot transact business without the business committee meeting and scheduling the business. If you pay regard to Order 216 of our standing orders, it's very clear. It says that the business committee comprises the leader of government business as chairperson, the minority leader as the ranking member, the chief whips, and not more than 11 other members. Subject to Order 67, the committee shall propose the business of each sitting and the order in which the business is taken, except that the House may determine which matters may properly be introduced in the House at any time. B, recommend the time allotted for the debate on bills, motions, private members' motions, and other business. Indicate in the proposed timetable the different hours at which the various stages of a bill or other business shall be taken. So, before any meeting of Parliament, the business committee must meet and schedule the business for the day. And it is their decision, which is then adopted by the House, and that is what finds expression on the order paper. So yesterday there was no order paper, as the Speaker clearly pointed out. And those who had triggered the recall didn't show up at plenary as well. So the Speaker had no other option than to adjourn proceedings indefinitely, sine die, which really is a waste of public time, waste of resources. I mean, Dr. Randiabe, you may have to begin to look into how much it costs for parliamentary recalls. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, particularly in this instance where we are renting a facility from a private person at the International Conference Center because of the renovations going on in Parliament. You have to yes, you have to factor the cost of that. You know, the cost of taking care of the clerks, the parliamentary service, and all of that. So, enormous financial expenditure when it comes to these parliamentary recalls, only for those who triggered the recall not to show up at all. And you see, what is so worrying is that apparently they were around, they were hovering around, because when the Speaker adjourned proceedings, and we stepped out. Then we saw some of them. We saw the likes of the Honorable Katie Hammond, who decided to engage in all kinds of theatrics, not clear what he was seeking to achieve. Then they later addressed a press conference, and the minority leader, the Honorable Afenyo Makin, used very, very caustic language on the Speaker, you know, virtually calling us warlords who are on a war path, and that the Speaker was superintending chaos. and one wonders, is it the Speaker who asked you not to show up? I mean, what show me any wrong thing the Speaker has done. The Speaker duly complied with the constitutional provision, summoned the House upon receiving your notice and the signatures who had triggered the recall, came to the proceedings. We waited for you guys more than an hour. You never showed up. Afenyo Makin should be apologizing to the Speaker, not berating the Speaker, not attacking the Speaker, not mudslinging. And he should watch it, because some of us are beginning to discuss the way forward. He may soon be hauled before the Privileges Committee because he's not exempted. The fact that you are a leader of one side, you know, does not exempt you from conduct which should be courteous and which should be proper. And you see, this business of not taking responsibility for your own conduct has to stop. It really has to stop. I mean, I am asking myself, if you look at all the crises in our country today, how is all of this back and forth, these Tom and Jerry games, this infantile posturing, the childishness? You won't come to the chamber, yet you're on the sidelines. When we step out, then you are going to pounce on us. We saw what Katie Hammond was doing. Then they're holding press conferences. So you were all around. I have heard the Honorable Kennedy Japon say, oh, we were at the caucus meeting, but To be fair to Kennedy Japan, he was more sincere and honest. He said that he took responsibility that they should have informed the speaker that they were at a caucus meeting, so that probably the speaker would wait for them. So far, it's only Kennedy Japan, the Honorable Kennedy Japan, who has been very mature, very honest, and truthful about their conduct, and has conceded that they didn't do right. They should have at least informed the speaker, informed the leadership on our side. You didn't do that. Then you are holding press conferences, berating the speaker, attacking us, calling us warlords who are on a war path, who want to destroy democracy in Ghana. And I'm asking myself, all of these dishonest, infantile, childish games going on, how does it resolve the Galamsey crisis? How does it resolve the exchange rate crisis?
Clear something for me.
The exchange rate has exceeded 17 as we speak.
Clear something for me, and Nana, please take note. If you have some information to that effect, you can also help me when it's your turn. Now, what we've been discussing so far has to do with what happened yesterday.
Yes.
But I'm informed that prior to the sitting yesterday, there is a business committee.
Yes.
That sits.
Yes.
And decides on the business for that particular sitting.
Yes.
And then when they have done that, that is presented to the speaker.
Yes.
Through the clerk or something.
Yes.
So that then becomes the business for which we would have the sitting.
Exactly.
Now I'm told that no such thing happened. The business committee never met.
True.
Whether on Wednesday or Tuesday or Monday or any other day. So the business committee never met.
Never met.
So in fact, if both sides had been in the house yesterday, there was actually no business before the house. How come? I mean, take us to, first of all, is that the parliamentary practice? That first of all, there ought to be a business committee meeting, and this business committee, because I saw Dr. Atufosin say that he even reached out to the other side to ask about all these things, and nothing about this business committee which should deal with what should be before Parliament came up.
Yes. So the standing orders are very clear. Standing Order 216, which I read, very clear, is the business committee that programs the business we will transact.
The business committee comprises of who?
It comprises of, under Order 2161, it comprises the leader of government business as chairperson, the minority leader as a ranking member, chief whips, and not more than 11 other members. And it's very clear under 2162A that their responsibility is to propose the business of each sitting and the order in which the business is taken. So they must meet before the plenary sits. Now, the Honorable Atufosin, seeing that the business committee has not met previous days, arrived in Parliament very early at 7 a.m. and started making calls to colleagues on the other side that, look, we'll have a crisis if at least we don't meet this morning, because there have been instances where on the day of sitting, they will meet quickly and then the order paper will be prepared. All his calls were not responsive. It tells us that they had just determined to boycott proceedings. And it's not clear if, in their calculation, they were thinking that probably the Speaker would not respond to the constitutional mandate of calling the sitting so that they could once again run to the Supreme Court and say that the Speaker is engaged in an unconstitutional. It's because you just can't believe what is going on. You have an obligation under Order 216 to attend the business committee meetings, to program the business for the day. Because you see, this is an emergency sitting where you are the one bringing the business, proposing the business to be transacted. You attached it to the signatories that you collected. So you must send it to the business committee, explain exactly what the issues are. Then it is programmed. And that is what the plenary will meet to discuss. So
let me ask you a question about your group. Last week, the Speaker was in court over the issue of the injunction on him to proceed with those things. He went to court.
Yes.
His lawyers were there. They argued their case. The Supreme Court affirmed its earlier decision. They threw out the speaker. They affirmed the earlier decision, which is that the speaker should stay off the issue of the 4 until the final determination of the matter. Why did your group go sit on the right side of the speaker?
Because we are standing up against judicial tyranny. Those who are conversant with the history of this world would recognize that there are many, many instances that the things that we deride, we abhor today, were judicial pronouncements. Take slavery, take apartheid. You had certain courts in our history affirming, superintending, legitimizing all of those horrible things. So we are standing up against judicial tyranny. We maintain that under Article 115 of the Constitution, the Supreme Court of Ghana has absolutely no business doing what it is doing. When you have the likes of Gaiwu, the MPP parliamentary candidate for Ho, who is now on the bench, and engage in political decisions, because when you look at the panel, he was there, playing a key role. This is just pure, just pure politics, not judicial pronouncements that advance the cause of our constitutional democracy. So it's a protest, and we have every right. That is why Speaker Bagbin was very, very clear. And please give me some time to read Speaker Bagbin's press conference. Speaker Bagbin, first of all, says that Parliament weakens itself when its members keep running to our courts to settle or seek favorable determinations of not just legal matters, but essentially political and governance questions. It is my strong belief the matter before the Supreme Court can be settled within Parliament through mature deliberations and compromises. Please make no mistake, not all the strong men President Obama warned us about come in military uniforms. Some come dressed in suits. I hope in my lifetime, Ghana shall have a parliament and a speaker who are truly independent from Jubilee or Flagstaff House or any headquarters in the conduct of parliamentary affairs. Let me state unequivocally, Parliament owes its duty to the people who established and elected its members to serve and represent them. The wheels of Parliament will continue to turn, and no person will be allowed to disrupt parliamentary proceedings or to undermine the democratic mandate of Parliament. When I ruled in January 2021 on the issue of which side constitutes majority and minority in Parliament, and the ruling was in favor of the majority group then, it was not an act of lawlessness as to cause constitutional crisis. When I ruled in the matter of the vacation of seats by Honorable Kennedy Japan, Honorable Henry Kote, and Honorable Sarah Joasafo, I remember that matter. You know, we had done the work, clearly seen the continuous absenteeism, no permission from the Speaker, and petitioned the Speaker. The Speaker ruled that they could stay on. The Speaker continues. It says that the question of the interpretation of the Constitution was not raised. When my predecessor declared the Formina seat vacant in 2020, applying the same provisions of Article 97, the original jurisdiction of Supreme Court to interpret and enforce provisions of the Constitution was not invoked. Peace reigned in these instances, and nobody cried and ran to the Supreme Court under the guise of constitutional interpretation. If I may ask, is it a legal matter for the Supreme Court to decide as to which side of the House constitute the majority or minority? It is for good reason that justice is said to be blind, and further that justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done in all cases, not only in those cases to which some people appear to be sentimentally attached. Fellow Ghanaians, I respectfully call on the Supreme Court to apply the same swiftness with which the motion ex parte in the instant matter was granted to the case involving the President's refusal to receive the Human Rights and Family Values Bill passed by Parliament. which has been pending before the same court for almost a year without being heard. Ladies and gentlemen, consistency is not just an ideal, but the foundation of life. The court cannot enjoy 4 MPs from serving their constituents for 12 weeks, but was eager to deny the constituents of Asin North their representation because of the issue of allegiance. The court can deny the constituents of SAR, Santro Kofi Akpafu Lolobi and Likpe, the people of SAR. And we heard President Mahama a few days ago when he went there. The people of SAR. The court can deny the constituents of SAR the sanctity of representation for years. For years, Chachichi Kata was in court. 3 years after they told him they don't have jurisdiction. 3 years. This same court, this same judiciary, they can't be bothered. The people of SAR, they are not human beings. They are not citizens. They are not Ghanaians. The double standards, the hypocrisy. Let me read on. The court cannot even see that the constitution itself permits a denial of representation within 3 months to the holding of a general election. Let me expatiate on this. You know that under the constitution, if an MP dies today, and we've entered that phase today, 3 months.
If there's a vacancy.
3 months to election, or there's a vacancy, there will be no by-election.
Yes.
We wait. Yes. So that 3 months. So where from this bizarre claim that the Supreme Court can live with itself if there is no representation? Bizarre rulings. Ladies and gentlemen, the Parliament of Ghana shall commence sitting as by law prescribed from tomorrow, November 7, 2024. I have earlier instructed the clerk to Parliament to transmit the LGBTQ plus bill to the President for his assent. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I am aware of the business the government wants to transact through Parliament, and I'm willing to collaborate with government. Despite all that I have said, Ghana first, and all Ghanaians should bear the President, Parliament, the Judiciary, and all our leaders in prayer for the betterment of our people and country. Look, as Speaker Bagbin is saying, you can transact government business, it doesn't matter where you sit. I mean, if you look at our Constitution, the Constitution envisages many scenarios. Doc, you are aware that we can have one day an independent president. Don't we have independent presidential aspirants? If Alan or Cheddar or any of those independent people are to win, who are their MPs? You clearly don't stand a chance to have the kind of MPs that NDC MPP will command. We must learn to work with them. That scenario is envisaged under our Constitution and under our standing orders. You can have a minority government, indeed, but for the shenanigans of 2020, the arm twisting, what they did in Techiman South, Sechuyoso, and other places, the NDC will have been a majority, and President Akufo-Addo will have been president. How will he have governed? So all of these scenarios are possible, including a coalition government. You can have parties coming together. We've had a great alliance and others in our history. So all of these scenarios are possible. If you read the latest Afrobarometer, 15% of Ghanaians are saying that they are going to vote skirt and blouse. 15%. That's a huge figure. So why is it that we can't have maturity at play? Speaker Bagbin is right that, look, this matter, all you need is maturity. Already, if you look at the 2020 election results, the Ghanaian people have voted for collaboration, for inclusivity, that let's not leave anybody behind. Let us learn to work together. Can't we, instead of running to the Supreme Court and obtaining all of these biased, partisan decisions, we cannot stand the test of time. Why can't we sit as adults and resolve these matters? I've been asking myself, really, if the veteran, the experience, Oseiche Mensah Bomso, if he was the leader of the MPP side, would this be the attitude? I've been asking myself, because I've listened to the likes of the Honorable Andy Apia Kubi, the likes of the Honorable Joe Sewusu, who are not impressed with what is going on. You know, so let me conclude by submitting very, very, very forcefully that we as elected officials must be mindful of the crisis we face as a country. If you read the Afrobarometer, 41% of Ghanaians are concerned about unemployment. All of this back and forth, these Tom and Jerry games, how does he address the unemployment crisis? 41% of Ghanaians, they are concerned about unemployment. Have you heard that cholera is back in our country with a bang, killing people? We have a health crisis. People are dying. Galamsey, LI 2462, it's not been repealed. We have pressing issues, urgent matters that require a parliament to sit. Finally, when we continue with these childish games, do you know the implications for even paying salaries from January? This month of November is where the budget must be presented. In an election year, the finance minister presents the budget for the 3 months, because it takes typically 3 months for the new government to appoint its ministers. You must do it in consultation with Council of State. Remember that. Then it goes to Parliament. The Appointments Committee must sit. Before they sit, they must advertise to the general public, those who have any information, any issue on why probably the person who has been nominated should not hold the position. So all of these things takes time. So the first 3 months, this month, we should be approving the budget for salaries, for public sector workers. Who is thinking about that in all of this crisis? People calling emergency parliamentary sittings and not showing up. They rather go and hold press conferences to attack the speaker and their colleagues in parliament, when we should be talking amongst ourselves, showing maturity. Okay. So how are we going to resolve the crisis that we face and the potential crisis that are looming? So, look, Doc, these matters are not matters that we should joke with. We can grind this country to a halt. We can totally undermine our democracy.
Are we going to close at 10?
We can totally undermine our democracy.
Because I have to leave at 10.
We can totally undermine.
And if we let things go on and on and on and on,
we can totally undermine our democracy if we do not show that we are grown-ups, be mature, sit, and bring maturity to bear, and stop all of these infantile games.
Right.
Are we going to close at 10?
You just go. Yeah, you go.
Look, Randy Abbey, what is your take on what is going on?
What's my take?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It shouldn't happen.
And what is the cause of this unfortunate situation? I mean, as far as you are concerned.
Really, I think that is just, I mean, MPs, I mean, they ought to, look, I would have wanted a situation where we had both sides in the house, or if there were issues with the business, that's why I went back to the business committee, that I would want to see the issue of the business committee. If there were any issues, you see, if there were any issues with the business committee meeting, I would then expect that there's a representation made to the speaker to say that, Mr. Speaker, the business committee ought to meet to deliberate on the business for the day. Because of A or B position, we were unable to meet, because I know that the composition of the business committee also has to do with majority.
See, what happened yesterday,
yes,
was not because the business committee hasn't presented a report.
It is, the speaker said it.
What happened yesterday was because the NDC people had gone to sit at the place where the NP people should sit. That's all. That is all.
Okay.
And we must face the truth.
How do you resolve that?
The matter has been resolved.
No, I'm saying that.
The matter has been resolved.
No,
Randy.
Nana, you don't get, I'm saying that.
I'm telling you the matter has been resolved.
No, I'm just saying that
Okay.
what happened yesterday, the NPP believes that this is where it's supposed to sit.
Yeah, on the
Now-
majority side.
Yeah, now it finds out that the NDC is going to sit there.
Yeah.
What should happen?
What should
What
happen?
should happen? What should the NPP do?
What should happen? Like I said, the matter has been resolved. What led the NDC people to go and sit at where the NPP people sit? What led to them? Because Speaker Bagbin had declared some seats vacant. 4 seats. In the calculation of the NDC, if those seats are vacant, then they become the majority.
Yes.
So if they become the majority, then they should sit on the majority side. Today we are being told by Samuel Kujeto that where you sit doesn't matter.
To transact government business. To be
Where you sit doesn't matter. If where you sit doesn't matter, why are you sitting on the majority side?
Because we are the majority, according to the speaker.
So where you sit matters. So where you sit matters.
You clearly you're taking me out of context. I said that you can transact business from any side. To transact business, it doesn't matter where you sit.
So
you can be minority and bring government business.
So
and I've talked about the possible scenarios.
So if
envisaged under the Constitution.
Okay, if where you sit, look, the truth is always pure and simple. If where you sit doesn't matter, why have you moved from your place, the left side of the speaker, to the right side?
Because we are now majority. And the majority sits on the right-hand side of the speaker.
What led the NDC people to go and sit on the right? Because the speaker had declared some seats vacant. And when they did a calculation, they said, well, if we go by what the speaker's declaration, then we are the majority. So they then move from the left side to sit on the right. The Supreme Court has been seized with the matter, as they should be. And they have said that because we have been seized of the matter, let the status quo remain until we finish with the matter. So the matter has been resolved. All we have to do is obey the Supreme Court. What is more difficult? What is more easier than this? The Supreme Court has ruled on the matter. The Constitution of this country gives the Supreme Court the power to interpret provisions of this Constitution. So if there is a difficulty or disagreement about a provision in this Constitution, it is the Supreme Court that must resolve it. Speaker Bagbin made a ruling based on provisions of this Constitution. That interpretation he gave has been challenged at the proper forum, the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court hasn't even said Bagbin is wrong, the speaker is wrong, or somebody is right. He says that stay the status quo while we go into it. And that's normally what happens. Staying the status quo means that everybody sits in their place until the matter is resolved. You know this. I know this. Samuel Kujeto says he doesn't know this. Speaker Bagbin says he doesn't know this.
Why? What has Speaker Bagbin said?
Because he allowed the NDC people to sit on his right.
How did he allow them? Nana, that's why I asked the question. That all what you said, we're all aware. And in my question,
I'm happy you are aware.
Yeah, we are aware. We are aware of what the Supreme
So
Court.
why are we not obeying?
No, hold on. And I'm saying that. That's why I asked Sammy that we are aware of what the Supreme Court's position is. So that's why I asked you.
And you agree that that should be the position.
So that's why I asked you the question. That if this is what we all expected, and the minority, the MPP group, then found out that, look, where we expect to sit on the basis of the Supreme Court ruling is where the other side are seated. What should they have done?
What should they go and fight them?
No.
Should they go and remove them from the
I'm
seats?
asking you, I said, what should they have done? Are we saying that there is nothing to be done? They could not have entered the chamber, they could not have made an official complaint to the speaker?
Enter the chamber to sit where?
No, so I'm asking you.
Well,
Is that nothing they could have
no,
done?
No, to
they
sit
could
where,
not have brought that to the attention of the speaker. They could have done
the speaker couldn't see the people sitting in the wrong place. Somebody has to go and point it out to the speaker. This is clear unruliness.
Okay.
Clear unruliness. Look, even on this small table that we sit, there's order. Do you know why there's order? Because we allow you to preside. When we came, you asked Sami the question. And Sami proceeded. That is order.
Yeah, but when you felt that Sami was taking too much time, you raised it with me.
Yes, I raised it with you.
Yes.
Now, I'm saying that is consequential upon the order. The order is that, and when I asked you and you said, "Oh, you finished now," what did I do?
Yeah, but at least you raised it.
Yeah, and then what did I do? You said, "Oh, you finished now."
Yes.
That is order.
Yeah, you raised it and you got a response from me.
But that is order.
Yes.
Now, if I came here this morning and there was somebody sitting here, how am I going to sit to even raise this matter with you? So I'm saying that even on this small table, there's order. You asked me to start. You could have asked me to start, and I would have started.
Yes.
That is order.
Yes.
So the Supreme Court says the status quo should remain. What is difficult to understand about this? And then you go and sit on the majority side. So clearly, you are flouting the order from the Supreme Court. And if we're going to flout the order from the Supreme Court, then we are overthrowing this Constitution. It is very simple matter. Very, very simple matter.
What I want to find out
and lawyers,
yes,
like the Speaker and other people, they say they don't understand this. They don't understand this rule of law.
What has the Speaker said?
Because the Speaker
Which
is allowing the NDC people to disobey the Supreme Court. Where they went to sit yesterday, as Sami Okujodefi was in the chamber, wearing their name tags. They were name tags. Isn't there? And yet they went and sat there. Now we are being told that it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you say. So if it doesn't matter what you say, why would you go and sit at a place where other people have their name tags?
Nana, per your experience. Per the standing
but
orders.
Should this thing even be a subject
Nana,
of
per your experience, with respect to the standing orders of Parliament, which I am told governs what happens in Parliament.
Yeah.
If there is any such issue, if any side or anybody in the House acts contrary to what it should be, and they lay down procedures per the standing orders for the aggrieved party or anybody who thinks that something wrong is being done to do, isn't there anything?
The simplest thing to do is to obey the Supreme Court.
Yeah, so assuming that one side is not doing it, what happens?
But why should one side not do it? Why? You see, the question is, why would somebody disobey the Supreme Court? And then we are being told, go and find other ways of resolving it. What other ways are there? What order is more final than the order from the Supreme Court?
Yeah, but people disobey court decisions all the time. But the same law provides for how to deal with them.
You have to be arrested. In fact, this thing, let me read the Constitution to you. The very, very first page, chapter 1. And you know it. Clause 2. The Constitution shall be the supreme law of Ghana, and any other law found to be inconsistent with any provision of this Constitution is, to the extent of the inconsistency, null. So that means that this Constitution is supreme. Any law should conform to what this thing. But this Constitution cannot provide for everything. It's only how many pages? 150 pages also, 120 pages. So it provides that when there's a dispute about any provision in this Constitution, it is the Supreme Court that must resolve it. You know this. I know this. Sami should know it. He's pretending he doesn't know. Anything that has to do with the use of the provisions of the Constitution has to be resolved by the Supreme Court. We are being told today that when you go to the Supreme Court to seek clarification, you are undermining Parliament. When this is a new thinking that I have never heard before. In fact,
that's why it's new.
In fact, we should applaud people who go to the courts instead of taking up violence. That's what we should do. We should applaud people. Now, it says that any person who alleges, this is clause 2, any person who alleges that an enactment or anything contained in, under the authority of any other enactment, or any act or omission of any person is inconsistent with or contravenes provisions of this Constitution, may bring an action. I mean, this is small boys' knowledge, so I don't understand why I'm even going about it. We all know this. Bagman gave his opinion. He said that as far as he was concerned, the 4 seats of these members of Parliament are vacant. They should no more come to Parliament. Other people disagreed. He based his opinion on a provision of this Constitution. Other people disagreed.
Just for clarity, it says that the decision was based on the standing orders, not the Constitution. Just for clarity.
Which standing orders?
He referred to it. I've forgotten the exact
The standing orders is inferior to the Constitution.
Yes.
In fact, the standing orders take their effect from this Constitution. And when you look at the standing orders, where provision have been made in the Constitution on an issue, they just take the constitutional provision.
Yes.
The standing orders cannot be in contravention of this Constitution. In this Constitution, it provides in is it 97?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the standing orders are in contravention. I'm just saying that for clarity, or for precision, the Speaker referred to the standing orders in arriving at his decision.
The Speaker also referred to 97. But even if he didn't refer to 97, like I'm telling you, and you know it, you know it. But even if he relied on the standing orders, to the extent that somebody believes that his interpretation of the standing orders goes against this Constitution, they can bring an action at the Supreme Court.
Yes.
In fact, the standing orders have been ruled upon by the Supreme Court. You remember? Even when you hear them, they say there's separation of powers. And this lawyers, you hear them on radio, separation of powers. Lawyers who've been to law school.
Why, you have a problem with that?
But that is dishonest. There is separation of powers, and there's also, you know it, what's the other one?
I don't know, tell me.
You know it.
Tell me. You are turning me into a mind reader this morning.
Now, you know there is separation of powers, and there is also checks and balances. Don't you know? There's also checks and balances.
Yes.
That is why the 3 arms of government, because we don't have time, you know, but you know there are checks and balances. That is why, so no arm is totally independent. You know, I mean, this is class 1, you know, constitutional law. I don't understand why. The basic point is that this Constitution is supreme. But your understanding, my understanding, may not always go together. There will be conflict. How do you resolve the conflict? It says that go to the courts. So that is what was done. The court said, the matter has been brought before me. In the meantime, stay any decision until we go into the matter. And people say they don't understand this. And so they are going to go and sit on the right side because the Speaker has said some seats are vacant. The Supreme Court has said that that declaration by the Speaker should be stayed. You don't understand this. The Speaker himself says he doesn't understand this. He's asking why are people taking his ruling to court? Why? He doesn't understand. Is the Speaker, is he a law to himself? Isn't he a creature of this Constitution? The Speaker, isn't he a creature of this Constitution? Is he a law to him? Did he create him? Did he come to that position by himself? And when your action or your decision is taken to the same constitution which created you, you say, why? Why is somebody taking you to the Supreme Court? Even the executive, when they do something and somebody disagrees with their interpretation of the law, they will be taken to the Supreme Court. And it's happened so many times, and you know it better because you've studied it for your, as part of your age. When the celebration of 31st December under Jerry John Rawlings, somebody said the way Jerry John Rawlings and the government at that time was celebrating 31st December goes against the Constitution. They didn't go and attack anybody. They went to the Supreme Court. The people who thought Jerry Rawlings was not acting properly by the way they were celebrating 31st December. That is an action by the executive. The Supreme Court told the executive, you cannot celebrate 31st December in the way that you are celebrating it. That is a Supreme Court pronouncement on the executive. And Jerry Rawlings obeyed.
Let me read this to you from an MP.
Okay.
It says that the Speaker communicated to us, this is Honorable Yusuf, MP for Bole.
Yeah.
It says the Speaker communicated to us the vacancy of the 4 seats, which made the NDC the majority. If the Supreme Court rules otherwise, it's the Speaker who will have to communicate that decision to us in the chamber. Honorable Akumian knows that Parliament is a house of records. Until the Speaker sitting in and communicating a Supreme Court decision to us, we, the majority, shall sit on the right-hand side of Mr. Speaker.
Oh, so he's blaming the Speaker?
No, do you get what he's saying?
Yes.
Okay.
It's simple English, I understand it.
Yes.
He's blaming the Speaker.
Really?
You can't see.
No.
He's saying that
yes.
They are sitting on the right side
yes.
because the Speaker declared 4 seats vacant.
Yes.
And if they will sit on the left side, then the Speaker should communicate to them the Supreme Court's ruling.
Yes.
And once the Speaker hasn't communicated the Supreme Court's ruling, as for them, they haven't heard, they will sit on the right side. So he's blaming the Speaker.
Yes.
For not communicating to them the Supreme Court's ruling.
Okay.
That's what he's saying.
My appreciation of what he's saying is that the opportunity to communicate it on the floor of the House did not happen.
After the ruling, the Parliament has met twice.
After the Supreme Court's ruling?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Sammy?
The first occasion.
Sammy, is that correct?
After
the Supreme Court?
Yes,
decision?
they've met twice.
Okay.
Yeah. They've met twice. Okay. So what is he talking about? Opportunity to communicate the Supreme Court's ruling. The opportunity has been there.
You mean twice, including yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yesterday was a sitting. So, so what he's saying, he said that, well, we have heard somewhere that the Supreme Court has given a ruling, but the Speaker has not communicated it to us.
Is that what should happen? Is that what should happen?
I'm saying that if he says that is what should happen, then he's saying that we haven't heard anything. The Speaker hasn't. So he's blaming the Speaker for their sitting on the right side as we speak. He's blaming the Speaker.
But is that what should happen? That there must be a formal communication?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
And the Speaker has refused to do that formal communication to the House. And he sees the people sitting on the right side where they should not be sitting because of the Supreme Court order. The Speaker is being unruly, and the NDC side too is being unruly. Now they say we should go and sit down somewhere and talk about it. On what we've been told, Bagman's statement yesterday or 2 days ago. To sit down and talk about what? The Supreme Court has given a simple ruling. He says that your declaration of 4 seats vacant and the effects thereof state. What is difficult about this? What is that? They say we should go and sit down somewhere and do what? The people came to the floor. You had gone and sat in their places. Where are they going to sit? Because if they went and sat anywhere...
They should sit on the other side and expect the Speaker to communicate the decision. Once he communicates it, the right thing will be done. Or?
The Speaker did some communication to the House.
He did what?
Communication to the House, didn't he?
As in the adjournment?
Yes. Yes. Didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yes. What stops him from doing that communication? Because now his people are saying that because you haven't communicated to us, we don't know of any Supreme Court ruling. You told us that the seats are vacant. You haven't told us that the Supreme Court says I should stay, so let's stay. Everything should. So you haven't told us. So they are blaming the speaker or hiding behind the speaker to be unruly. And then Samuel Kujato is telling us today that you can sit anywhere. This is what it's come to. You can sit anywhere. Even on this table, you can't sit anywhere. On this table, you can't sit anywhere. Can you?
You mean you can't sit to the left?
I can't sit in your chair here.
But you can sit to the left.
Can I sit in your chair?
You can sit there. Nobody went to sit on the speaker's chair.
But the speaker's chair is not. It's not in the chair.
I'm the speaker. Nobody went to sit in the speaker's chair.
But you see, Randy, that shows you the absurdity and the foolishness that we are suffering. Because somebody can stand on this thing that they are saying and go and sit in the speaker's chair tomorrow. Because they say we can sit anywhere. Jesus wept. And why are they doing this? You see, and for me, apart from the foolishness of this whole thing, what I am concerned about is that we are risking overthrowing our democracy. Because our democracy rests on the Supreme Court resolving disputes. That's what our democracy rests on. If you remove that, then what you are going to have is chaos. And that's what I'm saying. Even on this table, there's order. If you ask Sami to speak on an issue, I cannot prevent him. If I prevent him, what am I doing? I am messing up our discussions.
So listen to this one too. It says, following the ruling of the Supreme Court, shouldn't Parliament reconvene? And says, it doesn't matter how they are seated. For the Speaker to reverse his ruling in agreement with the Supreme Court, and therefore at that point declare NPP to be the majority. Then if NDC is on the right side of the Speaker then directs them to switch to their minority seats. Says the earlier text you read is not blaming the Speaker. The Speaker can only communicate a Supreme Court ruling to the House when the House is properly constituted.
The House is properly constituted. There's a quorum for doing business.
So it doesn't matter whether it's one side or
what are these? Yes, it's about people. What are these about? Who is that? This is simple.
Is it done?
No, it's
We've
not.
had enough
It's
of
not.
all his insults.
It's not.
It's going on and on and on.
It's not done.
He was the one seeking to
No, it's not done.
Regulate time, saying he will leave at 10. We are approaching 10 and he's still going on.
He's not done.
Using words like foolishness and all of that.
He spoke more than I spoke.
Nana, go on. We're listening to you. Go on.
If you can be concluding and get your language to be temperate.
You were describing people as dishonest and infantile this very morning. You were describing people as infantile.
What is
childish?
No, let's hear you.
Are you done?
No, isn't it?
Yes, let's hear you.
So, Randy, it's a very simple matter. This is not the first time the Supreme Court has given a ruling. I cannot remember any time that the Supreme Court gave a ruling and the ruling was not observed. I can't remember since we began this Fourth Republic in 1993. Rulings that even apply to the executive have been obeyed. You may disagree, but you would obey. We've had election petitions in this country which go to who won elections. Where did we take the disagreement? To the Supreme Court. The first one, the Supreme Court took 8 months and they gave a decision. The decision was obeyed. The last time was in 2021. The Supreme Court took about 3 months. They gave a ruling. The ruling was obeyed. I have never, since 1993, seen a situation where the Supreme Court has given a ruling and the ruling has not been obeyed, except this one. And who are the culprits? The Speaker of Parliament himself, disobeying an order of the Supreme Court.
So the MP for Bole has come back on the basis of what you said.
Yeah.
This text, it says that if the NPP minority refuse to sit on the left side as minority, how does the Speaker communicate the ruling? They refused to accept their position as minority and so made it difficult for the Speaker to preside. My message is not to blame the Speaker, but the egoistic position the minority MPP took should be blamed.
The egoistic position of the NPP. Who is supposed to give effect to the Supreme Court's ruling? Randy, who is supposed to give effect to the Supreme Court? Who is the Supreme Court ruling directed at? Who is it directed at?
The Speaker.
And now the Habib gentleman is saying that we haven't heard anything from
Honorable
the Speaker.
Yusuf.
He's saying that we haven't heard anything from the Speaker. As far as we don't deal with Supreme Courts, we deal with the Speaker. So if there's a ruling by the Supreme Court, it's the Speaker who should tell us. The Speaker hasn't told us. So
is this on the basis of the Speaker's earlier ruling? People should take their positions on the basis of the ruling and let the Speaker now come and communicate that on the basis of what the Supreme Court has said.
Did the Speaker say he can't communicate because one side of the House wasn't present?
I haven't heard
what you need is the numbers to do business. The numbers to do business is 1/3 of the Parliament. There were more than 1/3 there. So if the Speaker, according to Habib, if the Speaker wanted to communicate, he had every opportunity to communicate.
It's Yusuf, not Habib. Okay. All right. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll continue on this one.
That is my major.
Hey guys, so I got this app. It's called Ayoba. It's a chat app that helps me with beauty tips and cooking tips. A super app that feeds me music and the latest sports content. I even use it for my studies. And the good news is I don't need to use my data bundle because I'm on MTN. Chale, the app just did be.
Ayoba, the all-in-one app that lets you chat, call, read, play, pay, and listen. Use Ayoba at no data cost on MTN. Download Ayoba now.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bread you call mattress anymore? Don't some sleepers then follow me.
It is part of mattress we did it from there.
Yeah?
I've been a mattress where the dead for me.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like ash foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere.
8K. Hey, you can get an 8K. Get that packing from your book, one lie. Hey, wait.
You can put it on his tab. This is my man. Good
luck. Hey, Bill Radio. We have star 712. It's much more phone. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's
here. You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Aww.
Let's choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
No, maybe straight to option 4. Now, you need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or prefer tickets. I'm choosing random ticket. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
never. Tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. TNCs apply.
John, Mema Wakwaba.
Yeah, so.
Alaji, Mema Wakwaba.
Yeah.
John, I had a bro, one on
I really am a gun and Tina Menamo, and then break a crane Mijano. Don't know anything about Masaba.
Alaji, I had a bro.
Yo, Medasi. Moamonim, Tamana, Amawa, which you Momiana, Name Bobo and a Kakra. As I say, dear, my crowd said, me person me bewarino. Namiko CSL. Name man sign Jan and Nasubium, no your crabeshe.
Yo, I was not for, yes, Empire. Yo, I'm a Ghana. What's wrong?
Mean to me, ain't son, cheap. Your bread baby, I would make fair way. I'm on a wheat. Yeah, be. Mean to me, beyond. Forward ever, backwards. Never.
John, wo okwanya wo de me bai fast. Ahokyere ekom dum so hwa me nana no mi. Ya free SHS ya ba ya. Kom anya school anko. Ena hwe ya o ma ye fe.
Ase o ma se sambe hye obo. Sa ahomache tu okro kokra. Meko band, na makwa akoyi sika. E de abra magana. Na mabonigwe tire ama na starting kokon ketenkete.
Hey! Akunta, you are still incompetent.
2% side Mammy Abrabo, a 2 chat is aviator. There be a muscle.
Aladdin has also promised us jobs through digitalization. A Jumambe Bushistain.
Aladdin, dear, Metanasua, Namasware. Every beer mechania besano, which me talk and near light when you phone so, a mammy, baby, our Nambia. Yo, Amagana, and Yamin Meware amount. Aladdin, Jones, where choose.
No Ababa said. Alaji number 1.
Alaji number one.
Esuro.
Experience the enhanced protection of Star Motor Third Party Extra from Star Assurance, an enhanced motor third party insurance policy that provides cover for loss or damage to your vehicle's windscreens, side mirrors, back glass, and other glass components. Whether it's a crack or major damage, you can drive with the assurance that your vehicle is well protected. Our commitment to you includes affordable coverage options and a claims process that is both fast and straightforward, so you spend less time dealing with paperwork and more time on the road. Also, we have proudly partnered with Hope for Little Lives, an organization dedicated to supporting children in need. By choosing Star Motor Third Party Extra, you're protecting your vehicle and making a positive impact. Every policy you buy helps bring joy and support to children in underserved communities. Reach out to us now on our toll-free numbers 0800-177-177 or 0302-245-906 to sign up. Let us help you drive with peace of mind and purpose. Star Motor Third Party Extra. Drive with confidence, give back with heart.
Star Assurance, your solid partner.
Using Coa Mixture, Coa Plus Mixture, and Coa MT Mixture, brought to you by Coa Research and Manufacturing Limited Company, proudly made in Ghana. Formulated to support your general well-being. For those seeking immune system support, there is Coa Plus Mixture. Support your body's defenses and stay strong. When it comes to combating malaria, Coa MT Mixture will aid your treatments. For effective relief from malaria symptoms, try Coa MT Mixture. Coa Mixture, Coa Plus Mixture, and Coa MT Mixture are not recommended for pregnant women, lactating mothers, and children under 12 years. Always take a malaria test before using Coa MT Mixture. Choose Coa Mixture, Coa Plus Mixture, and Coa MT Mixture for your health needs. Available now at pharmacies nationwide. For bulk purchases, contact 0244-726611 or 0591-565-778. This advert is
To all our believers,
to the Niger Gunners of Global Road,
all you Artetas of Africa, of Accra,
of Maputo,
of Oimbo,
The legends of legends down Lusaka way. We hear you.
Now hear us. Obrigado. Talo.
Betway, the official global betting partner of Arsenal.
Apomode wonsem yemfen diagro. Enunti nese wonum edopapa nko. Exodus moringa capsules ene Exodus dandelion capsules. Efi Exodus ebusuanum bebe boa wa pomode. Emu bia wo benya no betimi aboa. Nanso se wonye tu no a wo betimi anom abom. Bebe boa papa. Se wonum Exodus moringa capsules ne Exodus dandelion capsules. Ebua mamoja di efusani yi. Na fe ebusti wo immune system no na kweti ayarewa ahodo. Minimi yi se nipa dodo na nim dia moringa etimi ye. Na dandelion so ye nim. Eno nti ne nkasa bebre. Enye mma apemfo. Ana abatan a oma enifo. Ana abofra a onya emfidumi. Exodus ehu dance die dos.
Possible shot candidate. No, Parliamentary. The policies are very 12 pillars. Ministers say don't buy a drum. Or wear 12. Because of all of them, so because here there is 12.
Aso, to say, a Maguru Emre, Mitawase, and Automase. That is the kind of leadership we want.
We're doing the 276 constituency tour. We're called Ghana, baby, here will be a policy tour. When you walk in the ballot room, you will see Nana Kwame Bediako. Number 12. On a pet and a tree, I want it so. On a super and I have branch here. Yakane and for Grand Quan, the Buffalo. Let's bomb them out. Let's bomb them out. Let's bomb them out. The answer to my prayer, and you with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight. Life just a moment, blowing in the wind. We're trying to find a friend.
Blue Jeans Energy Drink.
Time can tell us.
Dr. Baumian once said,
Every constituency will get $1 million every year for rural and deprived communities. Under this program, there should be no village or community in Ghana after the first 2 years that would have a water problem or a toilet problem.
next joke, please.
Vote
Vote John Dramani Mahama for president. Trustworthy, honest, and reliable. Vote for change. Choose the umbrella. Vote John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere. 8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get a packing so you have to Wallah. Hey, wait.
You go put it on his tab. This is my man.
Good luck. Hey, yo, Bill radio. We are star 712. It's much more. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's
here. You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Let's
choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now, you need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random tickets. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
there tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. T&Cs apply.
Welcome. Please look into the camera for verification. Thank you, John. You are now verified. Please select your preferred candidate. New candidate. Profile being verified. Please choose another. New candidate. Profile not ready. Please choose another. To see development options for this candidate, press yes or cancel. Will cancel free SHS. Will cancel LEAP. Will cancel health insurance. Will bring back Doomsaw. Should I continue? Press yes or cancel. Please choose another. Development options. Will improve free SHS. Free healthcare. Flat rate scheme for importers. Jobs for the youth. Affordable public transport with electric buses. Generally, a great choice. The only choice really. Thank you for voting number 1.
Sure. Vote number 1 on the ballot.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana Live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have Nana Kumia and Samuel Kujatu Ablakwa. As a proud official global betting partner of Arsenal, Betway is bringing you way more with a new fan exclusive page. Place any bet on Arsenal and you stand a chance to win exciting monthly prizes from a range of Arsenal jerseys to memorabilia and more. Not only that, you also stand a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime play on the pitch experience at the Emirates Stadium. This competition will end on the 31st of January 2025. It's exclusive to Betway, is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Terms and conditions do apply. Bet the responsible way. Betway, get way more. Okay, so as we wrap up on this subject, Sammy, I'll be coming to you. But a few of the MPs I've also sent in some messages, and I've seen one from the Honorable Kofi Adams, MP for Boem. And it says that as members of parliament, it says members of parliament or parliament is not a party to any matter before the Supreme Court. What we know as MPs is the decision or statement by Mr. Speaker on Thursday, 17 October 2024, that declared the 4 seats vacant. If any new information is available to the House, we can only hear it from the Speaker. Therefore, we only currently are abiding by the decision of the House on the 17th. When the orders, in quotes, of the Supreme Court are made known to us as a House, we shall decide using our procedure to deal with those orders. We consider strongly as illegal. Parliament is not a mere department or agency, but an arm of government, with its procedure and practices taken from the 92 Constitution. The MPP side must first respect the 17th October decision before making any further case in the House in relation to the Supreme Court orders. The Speaker understands that when Parliament takes a decision, that decision can only be reversed via decision. The Constitution is clear on quorum for decision, which is Article 104 of the Constitution, which says more than half all members. The House was adjourned sine die on the 22nd October for lack of decision quorum. Yesterday's adjournment was for absence of business. It is only business committee that can propose business for the House and no other person or group. I agree with Nana Kumia. There is so much foolishness. But he says on the side of the MPP group. Okay. But I think that at the heart of this is about the constitution of the business committee and therefore any business for the House is at the root of it. If this issue is not resolved one way or the other, then even the constitution of a business committee becomes problematic. That's why I keep going back to the issue of business committee. Yes, I mean, let's hear you on this.
Doc, Nana Komia has put out a lot of erroneous matters which have to be straightened. First of all, in this country, sovereignty resides in the people. Sovereignty does not reside in the Supreme Court of Ghana. Article 1, the very first article of our Constitution, is very, very clear. Article 1 of the Constitution provides the sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana, in whose name and for whose welfare the powers of government are to be exercised in the manner and within the limits laid down in this Constitution. Very clear. So let us all accept that. Sovereignty resides in the people. Sovereignty does not reside in the Supreme Court.
I thought the point Nana was making has to do with the supremacy of the Constitution. And the fact that the Supreme Court is clothed with the jurisdiction to interpret the Constitution.
And I think that, and I think that on the supremacy point, Bagbin was most profound.
Yes.
If you read paragraph 18 of his statement.
Yes.
He said, I believe in the supremacy of the Constitution.
True.
Mark my words. The supremacy of the Constitution,
yes,
not the supremacy of the judiciary or Supreme Court, unquote.
Yes.
Continues at paragraph 19. A parliament that understands, reflects, and embodies the will of the people and defends its constitutional prerogatives only works in the interest of Ghana and Ghanaians, not a rubber stamp parliament, subservient to the whims and caprices of the executive and or the judiciary. So these points have to be made very clear. You can write your question down. Now let me come to you were talking about unruliness. So please don't take notes.
Okay. Yes.
Now this selectivity that Nana Komia exhibits about unruliness. The unruliness in this whole debacle started from the MPP side. Never in the history of the Ghanaian parliament has any side of the House or any member of parliament sought to stop the speaker. You are aware that the unruliness started when Afenyo Makin and the MPP side decided to even prevent the speaker from delivering his ruling on the Honorable Atufosin's application. Can you believe that? This has never happened in our history. That's where the unruliness began. If he's interested in unruliness, and he wants a debate on unruliness, that's where he started. That is where the unruliness started. Look, I have all the answers on this matter here. 7th November 2020. Speaker Okoye, nobody got in his way, attempted to stop him from declaring the Fomina seat vacant. It's here, the answer is here. The answer of 26 March 2023, when the seat of Abraham Kofi Asante was declared vacant. The answer is here. Nobody got in the way of the speaker. I have another answer here of 2nd March 2006, when Professor Wayone Seli's seat was declared vacant. Nobody got in the way of the speaker through all kinds of shenanigans. That's where the unruliness began. Now, Doc, more unruliness. Let me read this statement, actually a letter signed by the Deputy Clerk of Parliament, Ebenezer Ahuma Jetro, on the authority of the Speaker, dated 18th October 2024. I'll show Nana more unruliness. And this is addressed to the Registrar, Supreme Court, Accra. Dear Registrar, writ to invoke the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court pursuant to Articles 1, 12.1 and 12.17, 21.1b, E, 35.1 and 5, 55, 97, 1G, 130A, 296 and B of the 1992 Constitution, of Rule 45 of the Supreme Court Rules, 1996, CI 16. I am directed by the Right Honorable Abansumana Kingsford Bagby, Speaker of Parliament, to return the attached processes which was left at the Legal Services Office of the Parliamentary Service by 3 bailiffs of the court on Wednesday, 16th October 2024. Attempts were made to serve the same processes on Tuesday, 15th October 2024. The Right Honorable Speaker notes that the attempted service is contrary to Article 117 of the 1992 Constitution and the circular issued by Her Ladyship, Justice Sarah Pamela C.A. Cronting, J.A., the Judicial Secretary, and copied to the Honorable Lady Chief Justice with reference numbers SCR9, entitled, quote, Enforcement of Articles 117 and 118 of the Constitution, Immunity from Service of Process and Arrest, unquote, dated 12 July 2024, addressed to all registrars of courts. Consequently, the Right Honorable Speaker has directed return of the attached processes for your necessary action. Signed, Ebenezer Ahuma Jetro, Deputy Clerk. You see the litany of unruliness. Nana Komia is inviting us to discuss unruliness. The litany. It didn't start yesterday. Even the Supreme Court, pursuant to Article 117, you sit with the Speaker of Parliament. How should services be received? You all agree that it should be done on Mondays. You issue a circular. Current Chief Justice, because of political expediency, you are in a hurry to save the MPP government. In an indecent haste, you defy your own practice rules, which you signed, copied Parliament, issued to all the courts. The unruliness. So unruliness, it didn't start yesterday. Now look, this baseless attack on the Speaker, where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? No Speaker of Parliament comes to Parliament very early, constitute themselves into ushers, and then directs people where they sit. Nothing stopped the MPP MPs from coming to Parliament, particularly when they triggered this recall, to raise whatever concern they have. So the attack on Speaker Bagby, where is it coming from? It's totally baseless, it's totally unfair. Speaker Bagbin didn't meet us and tell us where to sit. He does not direct who sits where. He does not. He totally does not. Then Nana Akomia again tries to engage in sanctimonious piety this morning. That they are adherents of Supreme Court decisions. They believe in the rule of law. Really?
So he's never seen.
He's never seen
anybody disregard the Supreme Court's.
Wow. Never seen. I pray Dom Leveau is watching. What did the Supreme Court say about Dom Leveau's dismissal? Has Dom Leveau been compensated? What did President Akufo-Addo do? Has Dom Leveau been compensated for that wrongful dismissal? Dom Leveau, what he was put through, was it fair? What did the Supreme Court say about that? Let's come to Ayawaso West Wagon. What does Article 279 of the Constitution say? Article 279 is very clear. Commissions of inquiry are high courts. They have the powers of a high court. Why did they throw the recommendations away? When are they going to compensate the victims of the Ayawaso West Wagon violence? When? You should spare us. You should spare us these things. You should spare us. They should just spare us. Look, Speaker Bagbin could not have put it better. Paragraph 19. A parliament that understands, reflects, and embodies the will of the people and defends its constitutional prerogatives only works in the interest of Ghana and Ghanaians, not a rubber stamp parliament, subservient to the whims and caprices of the executive and or the judiciary. I am so proud that I am standing up to judicial tyranny. I'm so proud. Again, paragraph 10, so profound. Ladies and gentlemen, recent acts of the judiciary and the executive, interference in the workings of parliament. And look, let's not take these matters lightly. It is for good reason that Article 115 of the 1992 Constitution, for good reason, else Parliament will be a total waste of everybody's time. There will be no democracy. Article 115 provides that there shall be freedom of speech, debate, and proceedings in Parliament. And that freedom shall not be impeached or questioned in any court or place out of Parliament. There is good reason. And there are many decided cases before an Attorney General and the rest. Long-standing jurisprudence has been that the courts are hesitant. They don't like to get involved. They stay away. So that separation of powers will be respected. So that it does not appear that one arm is colluding with the other to undermine Parliament. So when Bagbin says, quote, ladies and gentlemen, recent acts of the judiciary and the executive, interference in the workings of Parliament, pose a direct challenge to the essence, jurisdiction, authority, powers, and functioning of the esteemed institution of Parliament, which is the repository of the sovereign will of the people of Ghana. It is becoming increasingly clear the judiciary and the executive are colluding to weaken Parliament. Are we not in this country? What was the conduct of the executive and the judiciary on the LGBTQ bill? President doesn't want to sign. He will not assent to it. And so, let it go to the Supreme Court. And then, no agency, they waste everybody's time. So that the can is kicked on a matter that over 90% of Ghanaians want to see action on. The executive colludes with the judiciary. No action. The president gets what he wants. In my own e-levy case, what happened at the Supreme Court? I never knew that injunctions could be granted so quickly. As we speak, the matter has not been determined. More than 2 years. It has not been determined. And they say the window of opportunity they've given us is that the government should keep records. Everybody paying the e-levy should keep records so that in the event that they rule in our favor, then they can refund the money. This wasteful government, a government that can dig a pit for $58 million, you think we'll ever get our money back? They'll tell us that they've dug pits with it. They've given it to the SkyTrain criminals who ran away with our $2.5 million. They've given it to the Pualugu gang, which blew at $12 million. And we have nothing to show for it. That's what they'll tell us. So everybody can see what is at play. And finally, as Speaker Bagbin said on this matter, which is to me the fundamental issue, he said, look, why didn't we see all of this hue and cry when Professor Okoye gave the same ruling? I am clear in my mind that if the declaration of these seats vacant did not have any bearing on who becomes majority minority, we would not see all of this. All of this charade in the name of we want constitutional interpretation would not have happened. The only reason why we are where we are, why everything should not matter, should be suspended, the Speaker's authority should be undermined. You say that, oh, why are you not respecting the judiciary? Why should the Speaker not be respected? Why was even the Speaker's right to deliver a ruling on this matter? Why were there efforts to thwart that, to undermine his authority, to disrespect him? Put yourself in the shoes of the Speaker. If you are Speaker Bagbin, will you tolerate all the things that have happened? So, listen to Professor Okoye. Have you finished? In just 30 seconds. On this matter of Article 97, Professor Okoye says that going by a purposive interpretation of the present law, constructive actions on the part of the MP is important. With all intents and purposes, he is no longer a member of the party. He has pronounced himself publicly as an independent candidate and has filed papers to compete against the party. And his official candidate is an independent candidate on 7 December 2020. On that occasion, this current parliament will still be sitting and operating as an official parliament of the Republic of Ghana. We shall not have a situation adopted freely by any sitting MP where he or she will be campaigning openly against the party that he or she still represents in parliament, and yet ridiculously stands against the party. No purposive interpretation of law will allow such ridicule to prevail. What has Speaker Bagbin done that Professor Okoye didn't do? And why was Professor Okoye not disrespected, not prevented from giving his ruling, not undermined? And you are calling for the respect of one arm of government, but you think that the other arm should not be respected. The Speaker should not be respected.
I think
yes, Nana.
It's such a fundamental thing that you can go completely mad if you try to think of why people who are supposed to be knowledgeable can't understand basic things. Randy, it is not about respect to the Speaker. It is not about respect to the President. It is about the rule of law. It is not about respect. The Supreme Court has ruled against executive actions. He gave the instance of Domelefo. In that case, the Supreme Court ruled against the President. Is that showing disrespect to the President?
They waited. They waited for the ruling to be of no immediate effect.
No. The ruling against the President. No president in this country can remove the Auditor General by that rule.
Subsequently.
Is it showing disrespect to the presidency?
They should have ruled earlier.
Look, the Supreme Court of Ghana ruled against the Parliament of Ghana in the question of the vetting of ministers. Is that showing disrespect to the Parliament? The Speaker at that time,
Dear Vanna,
obeyed. Was that showing that when they ruled that ministers have to be vetted? As to how Parliament conducts the vetting, that's Parliament's business. But they have to come and subject themselves to parliamentary approval. That's what the Supreme Court ruled. Is that disrespect to Justice Annan?
Was it against a decision of the Speaker? That ruling, was it against a decision?
Yeah, because they said that they won't they call themselves holdover ministers.
That was the decision of the executive.
Yeah, but the Parliament didn't insist that the people have to come. Parliament aligned itself with the executive. The Supreme Court ruled that Parliament, you have to have, as to how you do it is your matter, but you have to let them come and subject themselves to approval. Was that disrespect to Justice Annan? Or was that disrespect to the Parliament? I mean, and these are basic things. You can't understand. When they ruled that Rawlings can't celebrate 35th July with public funds, and Rawlings obeyed, was that disrespect to Rawlings? It's about the rule of law. When the rule of law applies, Bagman says he's being disrespected. Bagman says he's being disrespected. And you have his collaborators telling us the same.
As Speaker Bagman said that.
Look,
he hasn't said that.
Sami Okujeto.
Nana, he hasn't said that. Don't put words in his mouth.
This thing that he said. You want me to read?
He hasn't said that he has been disrespected.
And what has he said?
He's not said that.
What has he said?
He was speaking about Parliament.
As Parliament has been disrespected. The order is directed at him. Now, please, write it down.
Gentlemen, ask permission. When you are coming for my document, you should ask for it. Don't just grab it like that. Gentlemen, don't do it.
You have 100 documents.
Be a gentleman.
If I'm to ask permission for
it says that your conduct is unruly.
Totally unruly. Be a gentleman.
Okay, please, can I?
Yes, you can have it. Yeah, that's what gentlemen do.
I would like you to look for the area where we're talking about respect and read it for us. Now, right, this constitution that Sami Okujeto is quoting to us, as if it's something we don't understand. And sovereignty, fine, it says that the sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana.
Yes.
Who has disputed this? Has the Supreme Court disputed this?
No.
So what is all this tirade about? It also says that so this sovereignty, this is what the Constitution says. Now, who enforces that sovereignty? This Constitution gives that enforcement to the Supreme Court. Because right under what he read, it says enforcement, right under the sovereignty of the Constitution. And then right under it says
there's no sovereignty of the Constitution, please. Don't be creating your
supremacy of the Constitution.
Yes. There's no sovereignty of Constitution.
No, it is this Constitution that vests sovereignty in the people of Ghana, isn't it? The Constitution. This is what gives sovereignty. That it says that
there's no sovereignty of Constitution.
How do you enforce this provision?
This Constitution.
This provision of the Constitution. The Supreme Court. It goes right under it says enforcement of the Constitution. It's given to the Supreme Court. It's not given to Speaker Bagbe. It's not given to the President. It's given to the Supreme Court. If you can't understand this, then there's no basis for any debate. Because you put your head in the sand.
Okay.
Now, we are being told nobody stops Speaker Okoye. And so what? If the person affected by Speaker Okoye didn't see the need to seek interpretation, how does that stop somebody else? How does that stop somebody else? How does that stop somebody else? So this business of nobody stopped Okoye, and so if somebody is going to a Supreme Court, it means they are stopping back being disrespect. Now, and then it says Speaker Bagbin is being undermined. These people, these collaborators of...
it's been totally unruly this morning.
Then they say that they are giving instances of unruliness. And what is he say? He said Domelevo. Domelevo has the president said, I will not take into account the Supreme Court's ruling. No.
Has Bagbin said that? Has Bagbin said that?
This business about a rubber stamp parliament that Bagbin is talking about and his collaborators are coming to. What has that got to do with the Supreme Court's ruling? Huh? Rubber stamp parliament. What does it mean? The things that Bagbin read, if I'm to take them one by one, you will find that there's absolutely no merit in any single sentence of what Bagbin read. If I'm to take them one by one. I think I'm to say freedom of speech and proceedings in parliament cannot be questioned. Has anybody stopped Bagbin or any MP from exercising their freedom of speech on the floor? This is a matter about an interpretation of provisions of the Constitution. It's not about freedom of speech. If you can't understand this, then what can you understand? What? It is about freedom of speech. Has anybody said you can't say this in Parliament? You can say it. Nobody will stop you.
Why were you trying to stop the Speaker from delivering his ruling?
Who was stopping? The Supreme Court was stopping the Speaker.
Afenyo Market, which led to all of these processes being returned. You heard me read the Speaker's letter to the Registrar of the Supreme Court.
We are talking about the Supreme Court. We are talking about Afenyo Market. Do you want me to give you the instances?
No, but what you are referring to was exactly the example he gave. Yeah. When he said that the Speaker was prevented.
Yes.
There was an attempt
from
delivering
his ruling. Because the Speaker had said, in 2 days' time, I will rule on their 240 application.
That's what Sami said.
If you are responding to as for heckling of the Speaker.
It was not heckling.
Heckling of the Speaker.
It was going as far as even defying court.
If I am to give you instances of
this is not heckling
of minority leader Bagbin against Speaker Alajete, we won't live here.
We are not talking about heckling.
We are talking about the Supreme Court ruling. You are talking about.
We are talking about abusing the judicial process to prevent Parliament from doing its work. That's what happened.
Abusing the judicial process.
Yes.
How does going to court to seek interpretation amount to an abuse?
How did they? How did they try
the process of
to serve the processes? The violation of Article 117 and the Chief Justice's own practice directive. That is what we are talking about.
If you say that the court bailiff did not conduct the service of the writ properly, it's an issue we can examine. What has that got to do with the power of the Supreme Court to interpret the Constitution?
In fact, to the extent that
you wanted to prevent the ruling,
that in the ruling, the Supreme Court was mindful to speak about the issue of the service, and to give us a position on it. Then it becomes an issue.
Yeah, but even what the Supreme Court said about the service?
He said that as far as we're concerned, it was properly served. And the CJ went ahead. She was the one who read the ruling. So I won't say the CJ's ruling, it was the court. Now, they went ahead to actually tell us why they agreed that the service was proper. And she said something to the effect that the Speaker might have misinterpreted column 1 of her circular.
And the Speaker disagrees. That
in fact, we have even done an examination of the circular here on this program.
So let's say that the service was not done properly. I don't have a quarrel with that. What has that got to do with the ruling of the Supreme Court?
Well, if you are not served properly, there even cannot be a ruling.
Did Bagbin, in his writ against the Supreme Court, say that he was not aware of the matter in court because he wasn't served?
Yes. He raised it. Yes, that's how come the ruling referred to it.
Yeah, he raised
that's how come the Supreme Court had to say that as far as we're concerned, the service was proper.
If Bagbin disagrees, or anybody else, with the ruling of the Supreme Court, that does not give you the right to disobey. I may disagree with something you said, but you are in the chair.
Yes.
Even on this small table.
Yes, it's not a small table.
Okay. Yes. Even on this glass table.
It's 20, almost 24 years old. Respect it.
Yeah. This table?
Yes, almost 23 years
old. The program is 24. The table is not 24.
The table represents the program.
And what do you represent?
The heart and soul of the show.
Of the show.
It's my creation.
Is that the table represents the show.
You brought it into being.
It symbolizes the show.
So what do you symbolize?
It symbolizes the heart and soul.
You are the founder.
The heart and soul.
Let's give you that. There's no problem. Chief, I'm saying that if you even disagree with the processes,
yes,
you may even disagree with the empaneling.
Yes.
You have the right. But you cannot disobey the orders of the Supreme Court. Otherwise, this whole thing, even in Parliament, when Bagbin gives a ruling, and then somebody gets up and says, Mr. Speaker Bagbin, this ruling, I think you've read the standing orders wrongly, so I won't agree. What will happen? Even because everybody,
the standing orders prescribe how you should go about your disagreement.
Yes, and the law prescribes how you go about your disagreement to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
So I don't understand this attitude of Speaker Bagbin.
What has he done wrong?
I mean, what is the basis for all of this attack?
He can't communicate his disagreement. Are you saying he cannot communicate?
No, you can.
Yes.
But you have to obey the Supreme
Court. Has he
disobeyed?
He
hasn't obeyed it.
How has he disobeyed? How has he disobeyed?
You get your own people. They are saying that Bagbin hasn't told us. So as for us, we are going to sit on the right side.
So they are waiting for the proper forum.
He's had a forum on 2 occasions. I've told you that.
So why would if they say the status quo should remain?
Yes.
And we are told. I've never been to Parliament.
You understand status quo?
I've never.
Everything should.
No, I've never been to Parliament.
Yeah.
Both of you. Now, the Speaker takes a decision. Somebody goes to court, and we are told that once a decision is made, it is reversed through a decision. Now, come to Parliament.
Yeah.
Let what the decision of the Speaker was prevail. And let the Speaker communicate what the Supreme Court has said and the effect it will have. How difficult
I am saying if the Speaker intends to communicate the Supreme Court's ruling,
yes,
he's had 2 opportunities. There's a Parliament there, he is presiding, there's a quorum for business. He had every opportunity to communicate the Supreme Court's ruling.
So then people was waiting for that before
he
they
has
went.
Every opportunity.
Okay.
He cannot say he was denied the opportunity because somebody was not in Parliament. There was a properly constituted Parliament. More than 1/3 was there for the quorum to conduct business.
So yesterday,
how did he announce?
Honorable Kofi Adams says
how did he announce?
Yes.
The what do you call the CNDA?
So Honorable Kofi Adams says that for yesterday, the Speaker adjourned Senate Dine because there was no business before the House. Yeah. There was no business.
Yeah, no business at all.
He said that's why.
Yeah.
He said the 22nd one had to do with quorum for decision.
The business committee didn't meet.
No. That's what I've been alluding to all this while.
Yeah. That was
why did the business committee meet?
They didn't meet.
Have you been here? We discussed it.
They didn't
we
meet.
said that
yesterday's adjournment was
Dr.
Tufosin
called his colleagues on the other side. They ignored him.
The business committee didn't. Who caused the business committee meeting?
You should tell us. You have all the experience.
Who caused the business committee meeting?
Majority leader. Majority leader chairs it.
Who caused the business committee meeting?
The business committee
majority leader
is chaired by the by the leader of government business. That's the terminology used. Leader of government business. The leader of government business can be from minority, can be from.
Is that the reason why Dr. Tufosin said he called?
Yes, he called. Yes.
Yeah. So Atufosin called a meeting.
He called them that what's happening? We are about to.
I said
have a meeting. The business committee hasn't met. Yeah.
So, Randy, let's get off the playground. These are serious issues.
Yes.
We are talking about not NPP, NDC. We are talking about the rule of law. We are talking about the architecture of our democracy. The architecture of our democracy is pinned on the Supreme Court's resolution of disputes. That is what this whole democracy rests. Otherwise, the president can do anything he or she likes. Today, you think you are there, so you are blasting the Supreme Court. Tomorrow, somebody will use some power against you, and that's where you realize what the rule of law means. You come and sit here and do this yourself.
Please, watch your hands. Don't hit me. Why can't you speak gently? Why do you have to be throwing your hands?
Breaking the table.
Please, can I shift
the host of News File,
I feel threatened.
who's also a lawyer.
Oh,
and a journalist, Samson Ladia. Okay, he has something. I like the way he writes. Typical lawyer. It says, disobedience in this context is refusal to do what is ordered or preventing implementation of what is ordered. Does the ruling stroke order require the speaker to do something which he has refused to do or prevented the carrying out of the ruling or order? Let me read it again. Disobedience in this context is refusal to do what is ordered or preventing the implementation of what is ordered. Does the ruling stroke order require the speaker to do something which he has refused to do or prevented the carrying out of the ruling or
so
order?
what Samson is fantastic. You know why? Because he's now shifting the blame to the NDC MPs.
No.
Because they are preventing the implementation.
How?
Was the order made on the NDC? Okay. Yes.
Because they are preventing the implementation of the ruling by going to sit on the majority side.
But they have not heard anything from the Supreme Court. They were not a party in the case.
So who is preventing the implementation?
Come and sit down and let the speaker.
You should be telling us.
Who is
come and sit down and let the speaker announce. Let the speaker communicate.
You should be telling us.
The Supreme Court has said, come and sit down.
If the speaker, I've told you several times, let me repeat it. If the speaker intends to make that announcement, he's had 2 opportunities. He rather chose to use the opportunities to end the house in a day.
Okay.
So let me quote what the speaker said. Matters that they wanted us to handle, which are admitted for consideration from the business committee, are not on the order paper. And in fact, there is no order paper for today because the business committee could not meet due to the absence of the people who requested for the recall. As you can see, one side of the house is completely empty. In view of this, we have no quorum. In view of this, we have a quorum to sit, but we have no business before us to transact.
Okay.
In the absence of that, there is no other authority that can put business before you that you have not adopted to transact.
Even if that's what the speaker believes, Randy, what you do is you adjourn the house. It's happened several times where
you adjourn to where?
To the next day.
To the next day, yeah.
Why?
So you keep wasting your time, you don't show up.
Why?
Yes.
Because you believe that there's no other paper today. So what you do, I mean, you can adjourn the house.
If you read the summons, it was for 1 day. It was an emergency sitting for 1 day, and you didn't show up. So
no, the parliamentary sitting is not an emergency.
No, this was an emergency sitting.
The request.
The request for this meeting. This was an emergency sitting.
For 1 day.
Yes, it was an emergency sitting.
I thought Parliament, you were going to do some 1 month before you.
No. This is the emergency sitting that you triggered.
By 18.
Your side triggered. Yes.
No. The previous one, what was the?
But we're going to sit to the 15th of November.
Yes.
No, but this particular
one. Yesterday's sitting
was a request by the 83 MPs.
Yes, for an emergency sitting.
So now the speaker. Oh, so if there's a request, that request should come with the business. Should come with the business.
Which must go to the business committee to be programmed. It wasn't done. They didn't send it to the business committee to be programmed.
Look, you can go to heaven and go to hell. You have to obey the Supreme Court.
But who has
disobeyed the Supreme Court? I don't get you.
So please, move from where you are sitting and go and sit at your proper place.
With alacrity.
Of the speaker.
With alacrity.
When you went to sit there, didn't you see people's name? Randy, when they went to sit there, didn't they see name?
I saw my name. I sat where my name was.
You mean they had put your name on the right side of the speaker?
Yes, that's where I sat.
Why are you
It was even the Honorable Sam George who assisted me.
Why are you telling yourself?
He said, "Yeah, I've seen you
on the right side of the speaker."
Yes.
So you mean the clerk of the house went?
And it was a very vantage. I like the new
view. So the clerk of the house
really have
until otherwise have been communicated to Parliament, they will do what the last this thing was.
And who should communicate?
We sit where a name tag.
So come and sit down and let the communication happen.
Anyway, I mean the point is that if we want this our democracy to survive, let's let the rule of law. That's the only thing.
Look,
that protect, not our position.
Look, I'm clear in my mind that the Bagbin roadmap is the way forward. Maturity. Let's talk to each other and find an amicable solution.
All right, okay.
That's the way forward.
All right, when the Supreme Court has given a ruling, we should now go and negotiate. Okay, it's okay. Let's go. Tomorrow there'll be a ruling, another ruling. Then we'll go and
from the Supreme Court.
Yes, against somebody, and they will say, let's go and negotiate. Okay. Let me put on my glasses and go.
Put it on. I want to see it. I haven't seen it in a while.
I understand the NDC, they don't like it.
They don't like it when you put it on.
Yeah, so. I understand they had some major...
Recently, I saw one...
Major what?
I saw one... Hey, have you seen the statue?
Nana must...
Which one?
You've not seen the statue?
Which one?
Oh, Annie, please. Nana says he hasn't seen the statue.
No, you mean the one of the president?
Yes.
At second?
Yes.
Yes, I've seen it.
You love it?
You mean, is it nice? That's what you're saying?
My question was, I was specific. I said, do you love it?
Whose idea was that? Whose idea was that?
I understand the secondary chiefs put it up to surprise the president.
Or the regional minister.
That's it. Yeah.
And it's at some roundabout or something?
Yes.
It's not even flattering.
Oh.
Who did that?
But if you accept something, you will not be Okuja to a black one. Chief, let's go.
And how can this be a priority? Why should we be doing this?
Up next, Metro Sports.
He is disrespecting the ruling of
the Supreme Court. The 4 MPs have been disallowed from coming in.
You are not listening.
No, when did any of the 4 MPs come in and they were asked not to come in?
You know where they were.
Because today the second deputy speaker's aide has been in the chamber, but the second deputy speaker himself has not been inside.
You may want to take some medication. Yes, it has no point shouting when you are ignorant of the matter. What it is this: it's not for the 4 people to simply show up. The Speaker has made a ruling barring them from coming to the Parliament. Supreme Court is reversed it. It is for the Speaker to sit up there and tell the House that his decision has been reversed, and so we say
reverse if you are not seated. You say you are going to cite the Speaker for contempt.
Not properly.
I mean, you are going to.
The Speaker reverse his decision.
Again, I'm saying that you either want to take leave of your senses or you listen to what I am saying. If you are not prepared to listen to what I'm saying and just listen to your own voices, we're not going to get anywhere. Look at the policy of cameras. Everybody is listening, but you don't seem to be listening and concentrating on what I'm saying. It is not a question of our presence in there or not. It is for the Speaker. If it is only about 100 people who are coming to the room there, minority and the majority will constitute the composition of the House in its entirety. Whichever comes in there, provided that we have enough to constitute the business of constitute the House and then start business of the House, we should do it. So even if we had 99, which is 1/3 of what to form the quorum, it was for the Speaker to make the announcement in the House that his ruling has been overset. Accordingly, minority back to where you were, majority back to where you have been. That is the simplest solution that we're talking about.
You say you're going to cite him for contempt.
Yes.
When are you doing this?
Watch the space.
Watch the space. I mean, finally,
yes.